A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. Would you like to do something really grand for your family? Well, one of the nicest things we can think of is to treat them to a dinner of Kroger quality beef. It's delicious, it's tender, it's juicy. Yes, Kroger quality beef will be a wonderful treat for those wonderful people who come home to you each night, your family. Just think how their faces will light up when the aroma of superbly cooked beef greets them as they step into the house. And then just wait until they see the dining room table with a thick, juicy Kroger quality beefsteak or a crusty brown beef roast awaiting their pleasure. And say, you'll get a lot of pleasure from the buying of Kroger quality beef because it's so economical. That's right, it's a mighty thrifty buy. And don't forget, when you buy nutritious and wholesome Kroger quality beef, you're getting beef that's carefully selected from the very best beef available on the market today. So be sure to visit your Kroger store soon, the only place you can buy it, and get Kroger quality beef. It's waiting for you at your Kroger store. And now, Hearts in Harmony. With Penny's brother Pat determined to search for his wife Suzanne until he finds her, there's deep concern over the care of Pat's infant daughter, Valerie. Penny wants to take full charge of her and says to Pat,
Pat, who's in a better position to take care of Valerie than I am?
Oh, I know you love her, Penny. Maybe more than any of us, if that's possible. But you shouldn't be burdened with my child.
Darling, don't use that word in connection with Valerie. She's no trouble.
Well, not now, maybe, sis. But before long, she will be. I'm no expert at taking care of children, but I've been told by people who ought to know that a child can be a terrible responsibility.
Darling, a baby is a responsibility, but not a terrible one.
Oh, you know what I mean by terrible. I mean a lot of work and worry and, well, a big expense, too.
I've thought about all those things. They don't bother me.
Well, the expense shouldn't. I'll provide for Valerie as best I can. But I'll have to get a job first, and, well, it may not be easy to find a job that'll give me plenty of time to look for Suzanne.
You worry about finding Suzanne. Let me worry about Valerie. Expense and all. After all, she's not much of a problem in that respect right now.
You don't know. You haven't taken care of her that long.
Well, there can't be many things.
There's a lot of expense connected with bringing up a small baby, sis. Special this and that. And if she ever gets sick, well, money's no object in a case like that.
Well, it certainly isn't. But we won't talk about her getting sick. She just won't get sick, that's all.
Hey, knock on wood when you say that.
All right. Oh, seriously, Pat, please let me have her. I'll take awfully good care of her.
I know you will.
Well, then leave her with me.
I didn't say that.
But you have to.
No, sis, it just isn't fair.
Well, it isn't fair to whom, Valerie?
No, to you.
Why is it unfair to me?
Because you'll be tied down.
Not completely.
But you will be. Just how much freedom do you think you'll have with a small baby to take care of? You won't be able to go out when you want to? What'll you do if Rogers or someone else wants to take you to dinner? You'll have to refuse. And what if you're offered an interesting job? You won't be able to take it.
I've thought about all those things, and that doesn't matter very much. Valerie's much more important, darling. Pat, I love her as much as if she were my own. And I want to keep her with me, pretend that she is my own. Please.
I don't know.
Well, what would you do with her if you didn't leave her with me?
Well, Mother would take care of her for a while.
Well, Mother has enough to worry about with Jed. And Jed's not well these days, you know that.
That's true.
And you're not going to put Valerie in a home, I know that.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Well, you can't take her with you, much as I know you want to.
I sure do, sis. I hate to leave her, even for Suzanne. And you know, it's a funny thing. I almost wish I didn't want to look for Suzanne.
I think I know what you mean.
Do you? I hope so. But in case you don't, let me try to explain.
No, Pat, you don't have to. I understand. In spite of everything Suzanne's done to hurt you and Valerie, you still love her and want her back. You know that maybe the best thing to do is to let her go and not even try to find her, but You can't help how you feel about her. You can't stop wanting her.
And that's exactly it, Penny. Does it make me wrong?
No, Pat. No, it doesn't. It makes you the most wonderful husband and perfect father that you are. You love both your wife and your daughter, and you want them to have each other.
That is right, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. And if you're as good a brother as you are a husband and father, you'll leave your daughter with your sister until you find Suzanne.
All right. But I won't shackle you with responsibility for Valerie's care. Not completely. You get someone to come in here and help you with Valerie, and I'll leave her with you.
All right. If you insist, I'll notice the person, too.
That Nora Williams you were telling me about?
Yeah, she stayed with Valerie the night I went to Madeline Dodger's party. Oh, she'd be perfect. But I do want you to see her first.
Oh, that isn't necessary. If you like her, she's okay. Oh, will she stay here, though? Sleep in, I think they call it?
Well, she said something the other day about wanting to work here regularly. I'll ask her if she really meant full-time.
Oh. Well, if she did, she's it.
Oh, Pat, thank you.
Thank me? For what?
Letting me have Valerie.
Oh, look. I'm the one who should thank you for letting me leave her here. But look, anytime she's too much for you, say so, will you?
Nope. I wouldn't care if I had her always.
Funny you should say that.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I just have a hunch I'll never find Suzanne. And after you've had Valerie for a few months or maybe a few years, you'll be so used to her, you'll think she's really yours. And I couldn't take her away from you then. Yes, Penny. Maybe you will have her always. Maybe I'm going to keep looking for Suzanne, even if it takes forever.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Nora, come in.
Oh, thank you. I don't mean to bother you, Miss
No,
Gibbs.
that's all right, really. Here, let me take your coat so you won't catch cold when you go outside again.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs. I just stopped by for a second to get my sweater. I left it here last Thursday night when I stayed with the baby.
Yes, I have it for you. I thought it was yours. But as a matter of fact, I didn't know how to get in touch with you.
Oh, I've been out on the farm with Daddy. We don't have a telephone. And this is the first chance I've had to come into town. The man who picks up Daddy and takes him to work brought me in, too.
Well, I'm glad you did come today, Nora. I'd like you to stay a while if you can.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs. You want me to watch the baby for you again today?
No, Nora, not today. That won't be necessary. But, look, take off your coat and come in and sit down.
All right.
I want to talk something over with you.
Oh, I just hope it's what I think it is.
Well, maybe it is, Nora. Come on, I'll hang your coat up for you.
Oh, no, thanks. I can do it. Oh, there. Oh, dear, that seam is pulling out again.
Oh, that can easily be fixed. If you let me have it, I'll see what I can do with it while we're talking.
Oh, no, Miss Gibbs. I'm just super with a needle and thread.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe I'll let you do all mine for me.
Oh, I'd be glad to, Miss Gibbs. I guess it's all right to admit it to someone as old as you, but I like to sew.
No, Nora, I was only joking. You will have enough to do watching Valerie. That is, if you'd like to take the job.
The job?
Mm-hmm. I want someone to be here full time to help me with Valerie and a few things around the house every now and then. Well, you said you'd like to work.
Oh, yes, Miss Gibbs. Oh, it'd be just super working for someone as nice as you.
Well, thank you, Nora, but let's not say you'll be working for me. I wouldn't like that on that basis. I'll pay you, of course, but I think it'd be nice if we just said that you were kind of helping me out.
Oh, golly, Miss Gibbs. I'm not ashamed to be a servant. I need a job very badly. I have to help Daddy out somehow. I try not to be, but I'm an awful expense to him. And he doesn't make very much money.
Well, I'm afraid I can't pay you very much either, Nora. At least not at first. But we'll talk it over with my brother, Pat. He's Valerie's father, you know.
Yes, you told me. And golly, I'll bet he's just super. He just has to be to have a baby like Valerie.
I'm sure you'll like him, Nora.
Oh, I know I will. Oh, but crickets, what if he doesn't like me? I guess I'll lose my job before I get it, won't I?
Nope, you have the job starting almost at once. And you can keep it as long as you like, Nora. There's only one thing I'd like to be sure of.
Oh, yes?
Mm-hmm. I'd like you to come and live here if you could. Would your father object?
Oh, no. I told him all about you and about the baby and about this house and everything. And he thought it would be just scrumptious if I could work here instead of in some store or factory or something.
Well, then you will be able to stay here full time, and it'll be all right with your father.
Oh, yes. I'll bring a note from Daddy whenever you say, just so you'll be sure it's all right.
No, that's not necessary. Now, about when you'll start, let's see. Oh, could you come in again tomorrow afternoon? We'll decide that, too.
Oh, yes, I can be here tomorrow, Miss Gibbs. I'll get a ride in with the man who takes Daddy to work.
Fine. Anytime tomorrow will be all right.
I'll be here in the morning. Then maybe I can stay and start taking care of the baby right away.
You certainly do want to be with Valerie, don't you?
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs, is it wrong? Little babies are so cute and wonderful.
Yeah, they sure are, aren't they? Well, I'll call Pat to come downstairs and meet you, and then I'll see you again tomorrow.
Oh, golly, Miss Gibbs, I'll be here first thing tomorrow morning with my suitcase and everything. I just have to come here to work. I just have to, that's all it is.
And, that's all I had left in the bank, Mr. Storrs. Well, I was hoping I'd made an error in my check stub. Yes, thank you very much. Bye.
Oh, hi, Gibbsy.
Oh, Freddie, hello. You home from work already?
Well, ain't about time I was, Gibbsy. You know, it's almost 1 o'clock. And, I always get home at noontime on Mondays.
Oh, that's right. You work only half days on Monday. I had no idea it was so late.
What's the matter, Gibbsy? You're looking a little sour.
No, Freddie, I'm just a little worried. Pat's leaving Valerie with me, and I'd like to hire Nora to help me take care of her, but my funds are running kind of low.
Well, why don't you tell Mr. G to bunk the kid in somewhere else?
Freddie, no, I wouldn't do that.
Well, what do you want the kid here for?
Well, because you wouldn't understand.
I guess maybe I wouldn't, Gibbsy. You know, this going goofy for kids is something that I never could figure out. Is this Nora Williams babe gonna come in here to live?
Yes, she is. At least I think so.
Gonna cost money, ain't it?
Yeah, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, sure. Should take the kid off in your hands a little bit. Look, Gibbsy, I got a job now, and I've got a few bucks. I've been hanging around here free of charge long enough. How about letting me kick in for my grub and my bunk,
No, Freddie, you're a guest here.
Well, I'm a paying guest from now on, Gibbsy. You know, maybe if I quit being dead freight, well, I might get a few privileges or something.
We'll talk about it some other time, Freddie. Right now, I think I can manage. In fact, this is a wonderful idea. With Nora here, there's no reason I couldn't be away in the daytime. I could go back to work. I could get a job somewhere.
Oh, what for, Gibbsy? Why beat your brains out? Look, I got a much better idea if you got to bring up that kid for Mr. G.
Oh, you have, eh?
Yes, I have, eh? Now, look, why don't you really play it smart? Bring up the kid, have this Williams dish around and do all the dirty work, and you really live a soft life. You get married.
Get married?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a good idea, Freddie.
Sure.
Yes, the more I think about it, the better idea it becomes. But just who shall I marry? You have any ideas on that score?
I sure have, Gibbsy.
Well, who?
You know, there's always the prof.
Professor Rogers?
Yeah. He'd fall on his kisser to marry you, Gibbsy. Look, all you'd have to do is ask him.
So Freddie thinks Professor Rogers is in love with Penny. Is Freddie just teasing Penny, or does he know for a fact what the shy professor thinks of her? And how will caring for her brother's child affect Penny's future? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. Did we hear somebody say they're wondering what to serve for dinner that will please everyone? Well, that's no problem. No, indeed. Just serve Kroger quality beef, everybody's favorite main dish, and the beef you can count on being the very best right now. What a welcome home for your family when they find it's beef for dinner. What a pleasant surprise to find beef stew, or a delicious, magnificently thick steak, or a mouth-watering roast of beef in the place of honor. Whatever their favorite may be, your family is going to be mighty happy to find that tasty, nourishing beef dish on their own dinner table. So hurry up and get Kroger quality beef at your Kroger store. And remember, Kroger quality beef, an exclusive Kroger feature, is deliciously tender and juicy. And it's at your Kroger store now. Now your local announcer.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, how does one man get himself into so many impossible situations? This is a question you'll probably ask yourself tomorrow night when you follow another hilarious adventure of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Yes, Gildy's eye for the ladies and his impulsive temperament managed to entangle him in a web of riotous circumstances. Join the romantic water commissioner, his neighbors, Judge Hooker, Mr. Peavy, and all the loyal Gildersleeve household as they romp through another episode of The Great Gildersleeve tomorrow night. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Cave of Night, by James E. Gunn.
Oh, you want a little, Charlie? Okay. Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brothers, death the memory be... Anyway, how's it, okay? Okay. Check recording, will you? I may go over a half hour. Make sure they've got another reel of tape ready, okay? All right, Look, Bill, I've just put the segments of tape together for the next week's show. I'm going to record my narrations, and we'll listen to it together tomorrow. I know this is unusual, but you're the producer, and I don't want you out on a limb that may be sawed off behind us. This week's show is liable to either win us every award from the Peabody to the Pulitzer Prize, or maybe put the network out of business. Okay, we start with the standard opening. Behind the world, etc., 40 seconds. This is Harry Anders, your editor. At 8 o'clock, after the sun has set and the sky is darkening, look up. There's a man up there where no man has ever been. He is lost in the cave of night.
The fuel tank's empty. Receiver broken. Transmitting and clear. Anyone picking this up, anyone. This is Rev McMillan calling. Notify Goddard Rock, New Mexico. No way to get back.
There's a man up there where no man has ever been. He is lost in the cave of night. We all know that phrase now, the cave of night. It was written by a poet disguised in the cynical hide of a newspaper rewrite man. But it stuck. It caught the world and held it like a butterfly pinned to a board. It started with a ham, an amateur radio operator, in Davenport, Iowa. All right, Eddie. Roll the first tape in here. It's marked.
Stop! Am I too close? I was up in the attic. I usually have a talk with WG73. He's in Buenos Aires. We play chess. Well, there was some kind of interference. And then all of a sudden I heard this voice. I record most of my listening anyway, so I had the tape machine running. After I heard it, I called civil defense. That's what we're supposed to.
Look, Bill, I haven't done the final editing on these tapes, so don't worry if they're a little rough. Down out of the night, flung from the darkness, came these words, the first of so many that electrified the world.
Notify Goddard Rock, New Mexico. No way to get back. No way to get back. I'm stuck up here. No way to get down.
What does it take to catch the pity of the world? A man wedged underground in Kentucky. A little girl in the bottom of a well. Somebody alive, waiting for rescue, with the days of his life numbered. Somebody somewhere waiting for us to get him out. The story broke in this morning's papers. Orbiting 1,000 miles above our heads was a man, an officer of the United States Air Force in a fuelless spaceship. We're recording at the desk of Mike Bayless, senior night editor of the Continental Press National Wire.
Hey, you always get a reaction like this. I remember the Floyd Collins story in the 20s. Fellow trapped in that cave in Kentucky, remember?
Oh, sure.
And the whole country hanging on to see if he could get out. Then there was that little girl stuck in the well. Kathy Fiskus?
Yeah.
We pulled all those stories out and put them on the wire for background. But this hit bigger. We got the first lead from an Air Force handout in New Mexico. They just said an experimental rocket failed to return to base. But by that time, the cat was out of the bag. Ham operators picked up those messages from Boston to Fairbanks, Alaska.
Mr. Bayless, you first used the phrase the cave of night, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you got to get a little purple on a thing like this. People eat it up. You can't spread it on too thick. Anyway, I was lost in a cave once when I was a kid in upstate New York. I waited around for a couple of hours in the dark until they came for me. It kind of reminded me of that.
It reminded the world of terrors at night, of struggling awake through nightmares. The fears of loneliness, darkness, falling, suffocation, thirst. It reminded me of Rev McMillan. Perhaps I have an advantage over all the other reporters for newspapers and radio and television because I knew Rev McMillan. I knew him in college and in the Air Force. I knew that he was testing rocket-powered craft at Goddard, but I didn't know they were so close to space. No one knew, till those messages of desperation crackled down through the atmosphere. I remembered Rev when I saw those headlines that morning. Straight black hair, Clark Gable ears, a reckless grin. He ate well, reveled in expert jazz and Mozart opera, and he talked incessantly. His southern speech was no drawl. There was too much to say. And now he was alone. And soon all that might be extinguished. The men from the radio newsrooms rushed to Goddard Rocket Base armed with miniature tape recorders.
Gentlemen, I'm Colonel Arthur J. Hannigan, Information Officer for Goddard Rocket Base. And I'm authorized to issue the following statement. First Lieutenant Reverty L. McMillan, United States Air Force pilot, Experimental Rocket Division, took off from Goddard Base at 22:34 Rocky Mountain time. His craft, the XR-37 Mark II, a hydrazine nitric three-stage rocket. I'm sorry I can't describe it, boys. Classified. Well, in order to maintain orbit, the motors were pulsed for 1 second every 15 seconds elapsed time. After 3 minutes, the exhaust was seen by ground spectroscope observation to flare for half a minute. His fuel supply is exhausted. The craft has reached sustaining orbital speed.
What does that mean, Colonel?
He's out of gas. He can't get down.
The first mobilization was of the scientific brains massed at Goddard. Few of them knew Rev. Brains at a research project are usually carefully sorted out and salted away from the distractions of the outside world. They designed, they invented, they calibrated and theorized. But they didn't know the short, stocky man with a lopsided grin who rode the fruit of their labor up and out, and now circled the world of his birth, with time ticking out. I covered the hearings in Washington for the network newsroom. I flew down from New York, and the stewardess came out every few minutes to tell the passengers the latest news. She called him Rev, although she never knew him, and once I thought I saw a tear. The hearing was before the subcommittee of the Senate Committee on Military Affairs. Presiding, Senator Allen J. Haggister of Kentucky.
All right, General Finch. You've made the technical situation fairly comprehensive, even to an old canebrake redneck hillbilly like myself.
I have tried to make the gravity of the situation apparent, sir.
It appears to me, General, that the sacred life of a human being created in the image of his maker is in danger. It's no light thing to be thrown away like some guinea pig. If that ship wasn't safe, if that poor man up there in the cave of night is to die, somebody is responsible. Isn't that right, General?
Sir, a manned rocket was sent up because of one simple fact. It takes a computer of tremendous versatility and capacity to operate a Harrison-Munch reactor engine. A computer of infinite complexity.
And I ask you, General, I put the question to you, why was such a computer not designed?
It has been designed, sir. It was designed 500,000 years ago. There is only one mechanism competent to handle those controls, sir. That is the human brain.
All right. I turn now to my second question, General, and I ask it not only for myself, and my colleagues on this committee, but for 170 million Americans listening on the radio, watching on television. With that man up there living out his last days, why was it not possible to send a ship up after him? Why was there no second ship built?
For one reason, Senator, money. The appropriation for rocket research fell short by 12% of the amount needed even to build one vessel. Oh, frankly, gentlemen, the deficiency was made up by cutting corners and diverting funds from other projects.
That is not the point, General. There's a man up there who's going to die.
With the limited funds you gave us, we've done what we set out to do. We've demonstrated that space flight is possible, that a space platform is feasible. If there is any inefficiency, if there is any blame for what has happened, it lies at the door of those who lack the confidence and the courage and ability of their countrymen to fight free of Earth to their greatest glory. Senator, how did you vote on that?
This is Harry Anders in the gallery of the Washington National Cathedral. This is a special prayer service called by the Dean of the Cathedral for the safety of Lieutenant McMillan and for the success of the recently announced rescue plan. The church is filled. There's a sprinkling of high Navy, Army, and Air Force uniforms. I see General Finch in the second row, next to the Secretary of the Air Force and the newly appointed Undersecretary of Defense, Mr. Winokur. Prominently displayed in the center aisle, below the ornate railing separating the pews from the altar, is the small model of Macmillan's ship. One by one now, the congregation is filing past, dropping checks, bills. I saw one child drop in 12 pennies one by one. All contributions are to be used to defray the cost of the rescue effort. The congregation is now kneeling to pray. A moment of silent prayer will follow for the safety and rescue of Lieutenant McMillan. $1 billion was raised in 1 week from voluntary contributions. Another $1.5 billion was appropriated unanimously by Congress. The race began. Would the rescue party reach the ship in time? Of course, we didn't know then. And daily we listened to the voice of the man we hoped to buy back from death. Now, look, Bill, on these Macmillan broadcast tapes, don't let some ignorant engineering vice president holler because it's not broadcast quality. Believe me, I knew Macmillan. There's more of that wild Texan in these tapes than in any hi-fi super-frequency response studio recordings. Just listen. You'll see what I mean.
I've been staring out the portholes. I never tire of it. Through the window at the right, I see a black velvet curtain with a strong light behind it. There are pinpoint holes in the curtain, and the light shines through, not winking the way stars do, but steady. There's no air up here. That's the reason. My oxygen is holding out better than I expected. By my figures, it should last 27 days more. I shouldn't use so much of it talking all the time, but it's hard to stop. Talking, I feel as if I was still in touch with the Earth. Still one of you. Even though I am way up here. Too bad the receiver is broken, but if it had to be one or the other, I'm glad it was the transmitter that came through all right. There's only one of me. There are billions of you to talk to. You can't see me now. You'll have to wait hours for the dawn. I'll have mine in a few minutes.
That's the way he talked. And as we listened to the lonely voice from the night, the engineers, the scientists, the construction men worked round the clock. General Finch presented the problem in the pool interview. I asked the questions for the combined networks that afternoon. Most of you heard the complete broadcast live as he briefed the world with the clipped, laconic delivery of a soldier.
There are two basic problems. We've recovered the first and second stages of the rocket. We've only to construct the third stage. The second problem is more difficult. The pilot. Lieutenant McMillan was the only man physically and psychologically qualified. We discovered that in our first program. His training and orientation took 18 months. We have now to duplicate this in 27 days.
You think it's possible, General?
I don't know. That's all, Mr. Anders. Stevenson, get me some coffee, will you? Black and some kind of sandwich, no butter, no mayonnaise.
And then the voice from the cave asked a question and expected no answer.
Do you hear me down there? Sometimes I wonder. I wish there was some way I could be sure you were hearing me. Just that one thing might keep me from going crazy.
I was there the night we answered that question. I was there in a helicopter over Kansas City. This is Harry Anders speaking to you from a helicopter over Kansas City. There are 15 seconds till midnight. The plan was developed by General Finch. At precisely midnight, every light in the city will be out and then flashed on in 2-second intervals. This will be the exact moment that McMillan's ship is calculated to pass overhead. It's almost time now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There they go. Off. On. Off. On. Off. On.
I see it. I see it. Kansas City winking at me. Oh, yes, I can see it. Thanks. Thanks. You're listening. I know that now. I'm not alone. I'll never forget. I'm waiting for you.
We're recording in the press gallery of the Goddard Rocket Base main construction hangar. The vast third stage component stands before us, men swarming up and down the gantry cranes. The Mark III is being built to carry 5 men instead of 1. The pilot selection has been kept a top secret to avoid unnecessary strain on the men selected. The latest progress report gives a possible margin of 6 hours between the launching of the rescue ship and the estimated exhaustion supply of oxygen to Lieutenant McMillan. The shift is changing now. The expert construction workers recruited from across the country by the combined efforts of the Air Force Personnel Service, the Atomic Energy Commission, and the International United Electrical Workers and United Auto Workers of the AFL-CIO. The margin is 6 hours. 6 hours between life and death for Lieutenant Reverdy L. McMillan.
An hour ago, I saw the sun rise over Russia. Looks like any other land from here. The green where it should be green. Farther north, a sort of mud color. And then white where the snow is still deep. Up here, you wonder why we're so different when the land is the same. You think we're all the same children of the same mother planet. Who says we're different?
Can you hear me in the back?
Yes, a little close.
Well, how about this?
That's better. That's better.
All right, gentlemen, I have exactly 5 minutes for the press conference. Therefore, I'm not going to answer any questions. Progress report is as follows. As a safety factor, we're constructing 2 complete 3-stage rockets and 6 additional 3rd-stage components. The telemetered reports from McMillan's ship have added important additional information, and the first of the rescue vessels should be ready to be launched at the estimated time, weather permitting. Now, don't ask a question. Within certain limitations of air turbulence, the rocket will be ready to lift in time to save Lieutenant McMillan.
21 days. The air is bad tonight. I can't seem to get a full breath. It seems to stick in the lungs. Doesn't matter, though. But I wish you could see what I've seen. The vast spreading universe around Earth like a bride in a soft veil. You'd know then that we belong out here. Come out, mankind. Come out and see what I have seen.
This is Harry Anders at Goddard Rocket Base. The Harrison Munch reactor engine for the first 3rd stage rescue is being tested here at Goddard. You can hear the roaring of the gases in the test chamber behind me. The work has been stepped up as a new calculation based on the increased temperature reading from McMillan's ship indicates that the exhaustion time will be some 6 hours earlier than originally estimated. The margin of rescue will be in minutes.
Air very bad. Better hurry. Can't last much longer. Silly, of course you'll hurry. But I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me. I've seen the stars clearly. But more than this, I've seen the earth. There where I have lived and loved. I have known it better than any man. And loved it better. And known its children better. Goodbye. I have a better tomb than the greatest conqueror earth ever bore. Do not disturb.
Countdown for blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anders, tape 323. We're in the press operation room of Goddard Field. The rescue rocket has been aloft 53 minutes plus. Its calculated time of arrival is 54 minutes. You will hear the voice of General Beauregard Finch on a direct pickup from the rescue vessel, which has been named unofficially the Lifesaver. Silent crowds have collected at the outer perimeter of the rocket base, as if by their presence they might help it.
Come, quiet.
The next voice you hear will be General Finch aloft in the rescue ship. The voice quality may not be good. He's speaking over a throat mic in his pressure suit.
Mark 3 to base. This is Finch. It'll secure that cable. We have just secured to the airlock of McMillan's ship. I'm now entering the lock. The inner door is closed. I have closed the outer door. The inner door is cycling. Now it is open. Bring in those oxy bottles, will you? The bulkhead to the control room is open.
Is he all right? Come on, what's happening?
Lieutenant McMillan is dead. He died heroically, waiting till all hope was gone. Until every oxygen gauge stood at zero. And then, well, the airlock was open when we arrived. In accordance with his own wish, his body will be left here in its eternal orbit. I'm going to leave now. My feet will be the last to touch this deck. Lieutenant McMillan is in his control chair, staring out towards the stars. I'll leave the airlock doors open behind me. Let the airless, frigid arms of space protect and preserve for all eternity. This man they would not let go.
Well, that's the show, Bill. Bill, you remember at the conference we hadn't made up our mind whether to pick anything up from the celebration last night after the news of the Mars landing? I said it was the right end for Rev McMillan's story. You said it was old stuff. Every kid knew the sequence. The ships built to rescue Rev, used to set up the satellite base, from the base to the moon and now to Mars. Well, I went out with a mini-tape last night, and I've got the end of the story. Here it is. This is Harry Anders in Times Square. The neon rocket ship at the top of the Times building has just flashed into brilliant light. The signal that the landing signal has been received from the rocket Rev McMillan III. Man has landed on Mars. And the holiday crowd here in Times Square is celebrating like 1,000 New Years rolled into one. I'm being tossed and pushed and clapped on the back all at once. Let's see what the man on the street thinks about man on Mars. You, sir. I'm broadcasting. No, how do you feel about it, sir? How do you feel tonight about man's conquest of space, of the planet?
Leave me alone. I'm in a hurry.
Just a few words of...
Look, you get your hands off me. Let go of me. I'm not in...
Wait a minute, sir. Wait. Rev, come back here. Rev. You think I could listen to that voice over and over in a tape editing room and not know every vowel, every consonant? I'm telling you, Bill, I saw him. Rev McMillan. The black hair was gray and those claw cable ears were pinned back, but that's a simple operation. I played that piece of tape over and over. It was Rev, I know it. He isn't up there. He's alive. We've got it, Bill. We've got it on our show. We'll break it. Rev McMillan is alive. I haven't written it yet, but we finish it off with this, with a question. Why did they announce he was dead? I'm in the tape editing room now. I've got the reel ready to record the answer.
Excuse me, Mr. Anders.
Hey, just a minute. I'm recording. You better see the page outside of the...
Anders, I'd like to talk to you for a moment, if I may. I have a letter of authorization...
Just a minute. I'll be through in a minute. Look, Bill, I've got the answer now. Last night, they landed on Mars. But that first ship, the one that circles up there now, there isn't anybody on it. There never was, except a 30 days recording and a transmitter. That's all. He was never up there. They didn't have the money for a manned rocket. They wanted a crash program, all out, so they sent a decoy up. And we all broke our hearts to rescue the man who wasn't there. Oh, he must be laughing, General Finch and the rest of them, the ones that knew. Yeah, I guess they had a problem. What to do with Rev? I wonder if he slipped away from whatever guards they have around him to see the celebration. He looked a little sad. I think sometimes he must wish he was really up there in the cave of night, seated in the icy control room, 1,075 miles above the Earth, staring out at the stars.
Mr. Anders, I must insist...
What? Bill. Looks as if I won't have to worry about editing this tape. My friends are from Washington.
I'd like to call your attention to the last paragraph.
What? Oh, no. It's very simple. You won't have to burn it. It's easy to destroy recording tape. I throw this switch. When the tape goes through the erasing head, it's gone forever. Oh, too bad. Would have made one fine show. Okay. So long, Rev.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features an exciting serial, Slave Ship, by Frederick...
In just a moment, X-1. But first, there's a certain water commissioner whose interest in the ladies sometimes overshadows his interest in civic affairs. His name is a familiar one, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, and he'll pursue his adventures tomorrow night when NBC Radio presents another comic episode of The Great Gildersleeve. So when you hear the familiar voice and hearty laugh of the water commissioner from Summerfield tomorrow, why, stay tuned and enjoy another romantic scramble with the one and only The Great Gildersleeve on this NBC station. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1.
Tonight's story, The C-Chute, by Isaac Asimov.
We were on our way home to Earth when it happened. 6 of us, coming home as passengers aboard the merchant spaceship Starfire. At the start of the Second Interstellar War, the one between Earth and the planet Chloro. And then it happened.
Now hear this. Condition red. Condition red. We are under attack from a Chloran battlecruiser. All hands forward to battle stations. Passengers will remain confined to the after cabin. Condition red. We are being attacked.
The interception by the Chloran cruiser, the murderous running jewel of energy blasts and force field defenses. We huddled in the passengers' after cabin, terrified, not knowing how the battle was going. We could hear the desperate bursts of steam through the steering tubes as the Starfire maneuvered to dodge the enemy attacks. And then...
Now what?
The beginning of the end, you might call it.
Well, what does it mean, Stuart? You were a space pilot?
It means our generators have been drained of energy. We can't fight back.
But,
All right, don't worry. They won't destroy us. They need our ship too badly. They'll simply board us and take over.
But what about the crew?
The crew, Colonel? If they have any sense, they'll surrender. If they choose to fight, they'll... Now, they're coming aboard. Now, be very still.
Oh, Mother in heaven, help us.
If only those fools on deck will surrender without a struggle.
They are fighting.
Yes, it's the end.
We've got to help them.
All right, don't open that door.
We just can't let them die.
You can't help them.
I'm going. Stop him.
All right.
Aristide.
Shut the door quickly.
Aristide, my brother. That poor fool. I'll get them. My brother, I swear to you, I'll get them.
Yeah, you better cover his body.
The brutes. The monstrous green-skinned brutes.
They're no more brutes than we are, Colonel. This is a war.
Are you defending them?
I'm merely pointing out the facts.
I ought to strangle you.
Why not save it for the Chloros?
I will. I promise you I will.
Well, they're probably deciding right now what to do with us. We might as well settle down and wait. We sat there, the 5 of us, and listened while the Chloran invaders killed off the members of the Starfire's crew. Among us was Colonel Anthony Wyndham, an old Colonel Blimp type with a lame leg. Wyndham had spent his life in the militia back on Earth, but had never seen a battle. There was Demetrius Poliorkitis, who had just watched his brother being killed by a chlorocarbonizer. Poli was a huge man. He and his brother had tried truck farming in Arcturus and given it up after 2 seasons. Then there was LeBlanc, a sensitive, frightened young man of 22, and Randolph Mullen, who looked like somebody's caricature of a bookkeeper. A mild, balding, milquetoast little man. And there was myself, John Stewart. I was the only one who'd ever had contact with the Chloro people. I had a pair of artoplasm hands to prove it.
It is quiet now.
Yeah, they've finished with the crew.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, Mr. Mullen.
What do you think will happen next?
Well, they'll put a prize crew of 2 aboard and take us to one of their home planets as prisoners of war.
Only 2 of the Chloros will stay aboard?
2 is all they'll need. Why, Colonel? You're thinking of leading a gallant raid to retake the ship?
Well, simply a point of information, dash it.
All right, then let me give you another point of information. If you want to commit suicide quick, just open that bulkhead door. 3 steps inside, you'd fall on your face.
But why?
Don't you smell anything, LeBlanc? Get close to the door.
It smells like gas.
Yeah, it is gas. Chlorine gas. They breathe it like we breathe oxygen. They've chlorinated the whole crew's compartment. One big whiff of that and we'd all be dead. So just forget about rushing the Chloros.
How do you know so much about their habits, Stuart?
I lived on a Chloro planet for 6 months. You see these hands? They were mangled in the oxygenating machinery of my own quarters. They grew these artoplasm things and operated. They're weak, but at least I have hands again.
Monsieur Stewart.
Yeah.
Will they kill us?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because, in their own way, they're gentlemen. Probably will be interned for the duration.
You call them gentlemen. After they killed my brother in cold blood, you call them gentlemen.
You know, Stuart, you sound more and more like a blasted Greenie sympathizer. Blasted, man. Where's your patriotism and loyalty?
My loyalty is where it belongs, with honesty and decency, regardless of the shape of the being it appears in. This is a ridiculous war. Why are we fighting these people? We can live only on planets with oxygen, and oxygen is poison to them. They can live only in chlorine atmosphere, which is deadly to us. Yet we're fighting them over a bunch of worthless asteroids that neither of us can live on comfortably.
Well, it's a matter of principle.
It's a matter of stupid pride and greed.
I don't like what you say, mister.
Why not?
Because you talk too nice about these greeny scum. They're good to you, eh? Well, they weren't good to my brother. They killed him. And I think maybe I'll kill you, you rotten greeny...
Holy... Mullen, grab him.
I can't break his hold. They are coming in.
Holy, let him go.
They saved your life this time. But when I'm finished with them...
What? I think they're opening the lock.
Well, don't get between us.
Holy, don't lose your head. They'll kill us all.
I greet you, Earthmen.
The chloro was not a pleasant sight to anyone unused to it. He was about the height of an Earthman, but the top of him was just a green stalk with eyes. He was still wearing a spacesuit to protect him from the oxygen in our compartment. In one of his tendrils, he carried a chloran gun. As he stood in the doorway, I could see Polyarchetes' eyes begin to glisten with rage. Then, with a bellow like a huge bull, he threw himself at the chloro.
He is not dead, merely temporarily paralyzed. You five will remain together as prisoners of war. We expect to reach our own planet within several weeks, your time. There you will be interned for the duration of the war. If any of you attempts to leave this compartment, we shall be forced to destroy you. That is all I have to communicate.
Hadn't we better do something for Mr. Polyarchetes?
Oh, he'll be all right. Just hoist him up in the cot.
Yes.
Hi, Polly. Can you hear me, you stupid brute?
His voice is coming back.
Yeah. Now, I know what's going on in that thick skull of yours, Polly. You think that when the paralysis wears off, you'll ease your feelings by slamming me around some more. Well, if you do, it'll be curtains for all of us.
How do you mean, sir?
None of you know the chloros the way I do. Unlike us, they assume automatically that any group of Earthmen they find together comprises a biological grouping, like an ant colony. The result is that they consider the group as something holy. Now, they'd never break us up. And if one of us did any harm to another, they'd have us all executed as a bunch of chloro-type perverts, a non-functioning group. So call all the names you want. But keep your hands to yourself, or we're finished. My little speech had a sobering effect on the group. For the next 24 hours, we did little besides eat our rations and think. I tried to evaluate them. The colonel I had figured for an old windbag. Polyarchetes was a hate-filled brute. LeBlanc would crack first. He was like a frightened child. Mullen was a nonentity, a mouse instead of a man. Everything he did seemed prissyish. His voice had the quality of furtively rustling underbrush.
How long did you say the trip would take, Mr. Stewart?
Well, the chloro said about 2 weeks.
Gentlemen, if I may interrupt.
Colonel?
Now, it has occurred to me that perhaps you know of some weakness that might enable us to overcome these chloros.
The only weakness they've got is that they can't stand oxygen.
Oh, but there must be some way to get the best of them, man. After all, there are only two.
Before I answer, Colonel, I have to know your motive. Is it to save your own skin or help Earth win the war?
Oh, dash it, man, to help our side, of course. What we're looking for is the way to save the ship for Earth without losing our lives, yes?
Well, all right, let's take a vote then. LeBlanc?
I have a wife waiting on Earth, Mr. Stewart. I do not want to die.
Uh-huh. Hero number 1. What about you, Mullen?
I don't see how we could accomplish it without...
Hero number 2. Well, Polyarchetes,
When I kill Chloros, it will be with my bare hands. On their planet, I will kill dozens, I promise you.
3 down. Well, Colonel, don't you want to march to glory, an old militiaman like you?
Your attitude is very cynical and unbecoming, Stuart.
I see. Well, then I'll have to blow the ship up myself.
Stuart!
Don't worry, Colonel. I don't intend to be a dead hero.
Of course, there is a way we might do it.
What did you say, Mr. Mullen?
There's a spacesuit and magnetic boots stored in that locker over there. We might be able to reach the control room from the outside of the ship.
The outside? But how would we get outside?
Well, this compartment has a C-chute. It must.
What is a C-chute?
A C-chute, my boy, is a casualty chute. It doesn't get talked about much, but all the main compartments have them. They're just little airlocks down which you slide a corpse. Burial in space.
Oh, blast it, Mullen. Suppose you did get outside. How could you re-enter the ship?
Through the steam tubes, the ones they use to guide the ship.
Wait a minute, Mullen. What do you know about steam tubes? I thought you were a bookkeeper.
Well, on Arcturus, I got interested in spaceship models. I studied all about them. On my own time, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
At any rate, I learned that the steam tubes have an access vent directly to the control room for repairs and so forth.
And the Chloros, they are in the control room.
What do you think, Stuart?
Well, it's a video sort of idea, but it might just work. We could get permission from the Chloros to open the C-chute and bury Paulie's brother. And one of us could slip into it, work forward, and climb up through the steam tube. The question being, which one?
What about you? You with your loud talk and your sneers.
I'm no hero, Paulie. I've already said that. My object is to stay alive. The steam tube let go while you were in it, you'd be broiled like a lobster. Now, how about the colonel here?
If I were younger, blasted, I'd trounce you. You know very well with my injured leg.
Yeah, of course. Not to mention my artificial hands. Well, now, what unfortunate deformities do the rest of us have? Paulie?
You just keep talking, Mr. Big Mouth, and pretty soon we'll kick your teeth in.
Of course, that's your standard reply to everything, isn't it? LeBlanc, will you do it?
I cannot.
Not even to get back to Denise?
Please, I cannot.
LeBlanc needn't go. I'll do it.
What?
After all, it is my idea.
Wait a minute. Are you serious, Mullen?
Yes.
Well, how? I don't understand. Why? Why you?
Well, it seems no one else will do it.
But that's no reason, man.
I can't think of any other.
Look here. Do you really intend to go through with it, sir?
Yes, I suppose I do.
Well, dash it, man. Let me shake your hand. You're an Earthman, by heaven. You do this thing and win or die. I'll bear witness for you.
It was quite a moment. Mullen the mouse had suddenly turned into a man. He just stood there awkwardly while the colonel puffed his hand. Poliorkitis seemed stunned. LeBlanc was wide-eyed. And I? Well, I was in a peculiar position, one in which I rarely found myself. I had absolutely nothing to say.
That ought to bring them.
I hear one.
What is it, Earthman?
One member of our unit is dead, as you know. We request permission to jettison his body out of the casualty chute.
You may do so.
You'll have to open the chute lock from the control room.
I will do so. Is there anything else?
No. Nothing else, thank you. Oh, boy. All right, come on now. We'll have to work fast. Mullen, get into a spacesuit from the emergency locker. Paulie, help Mom with those magnetic boots.
Hurry.
I'm working as fast as I can. The arm.
All right, give me the helmet.
The helmet.
Okay. Now, Mullen, you better scratch your nose if you have to. It's your last chance for a while.
What about radio contact?
You can talk to us. We'll listen in on the helmet set and one of the other suits. The Chloros won't have their set on the interphone frequency.
Wait a moment.
What for?
Dash it, what's he going to use for a weapon? He isn't big enough to fight them barehanded.
No, that's true. Well, how about one of those oxygen cylinders?
Good idea. Use it to bash them over the head.
Now, give him one of the cylinders equipped with a reducing valve. Now, look, Mullen, if your magnetic boots fail and you start drifting away into space, open this valve. See that? Now, you can use it like a miniature jet and try to blow yourself back to the ship. Understand?
I think so.
Well, I only hope it works. All right, here goes the helmet.
You'd better hurry. The light is on over the C-Chute.
Yeah. All right. That means I've opened the lock. Here. Now, can you hear me? Oh, LeBlanc, give me that other space helmet.
Yes. Here.
Let me switch on the radio. Can you hear me, Mullen?
I hear you.
Fine. Plenty there?
Air's okay.
Uh-huh. Polly, open the C-Chute. Okay, now help him in. All ready?
Ready?
Well, good luck. Close the chute. Pull the ejector valve. Now! He's out. Oh, God help him.
The light is out.
Yeah. The chloros have closed the chute lock.
I don't suppose he has much of a chance.
No.
Do you think he knew it?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Should I try to contact him on the radio?
Yes, I think... Wait a minute. What is it? Listen, the chloro's coming.
Good Lord. He's sure to miss Mullen.
Yeah, wait. Polly, get your brother's body on the cot. Put a blanket over it. Pretend it's Mullen asleep. Polly, for heaven's sake.
My brother.
What you've got to do it, man. It's our only chance. Listen, if Mullen could go out there and...
Very well. I will do it.
Earthman,
Yes.
you have jettisoned the body?
Yes.
Good. Is there something further we can do?
No, We are very tired. Our grief is very great at losing one of our unit. We would like to rest alone.
I will respect your wishes. I see that one of your units sleeps already.
Yes, Mr. Mullen was overcome with grief.
I leave you.
Oh, brother. Polly, I thought sure you were going to rush him.
With that brave little guy out there. What do you think I am, anyway? And to think I laughed at him makes me ashamed.
Yeah, I guess I've been saying some things that maybe weren't too funny. I owe all of you an apology.
Do you think it's safe to try the radio?
Yeah, we better. Hello? Hello, Mullen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Where are you?
I'm standing on the outside of the ship.
All right, now take care. One misstep and you'll be marooned in space. Now, can you find the steam tubes?
I think I've found one of them already. I can feel the rim. I just hope it doesn't let go when I get inside.
Be careful.
I'm going into the tube now. I can feel the ladder rungs I used to repair the inside.
Yeah, well, keep in contact.
I'm in the tube now.
Good Lord. They've let go with a blast.
Oh, well, it may be the starboard tubes. Mullen!
Still here. They used the other tubes, fortunately. Now, if they don't try to correct for over-deflection...
Yeah, keep moving.
I seem to be... Wait. Yes, I'm at the end of the tube now, where it opens into the control room.
Good. Now, look, there's a small metal door there. Can you feel it?
Yes, I'm afraid it's locked from the other side.
Oh.
I can't budge it.
Mullen, listen to me.
Stuart, I'm scared. I'm terribly scared.
Yeah, all right. Now, hang on. Don't blow up. Listen to me. Are you listening?
Yes.
Take the spare oxygen tank. Bang on the metal door that leads to the control room. The chloros are bound to hear you. When one of them comes to investigate, try to hit him with a cylinder. Now, aim for the stalk on top of his body. Try to blind him. Will you do that?
I'll try.
Well, now, go on. Only one can come. The other will stay at the controls. Now, start banging. Any luck?
No, Wait, I hear something. Something's opening the lock. The door now. I hear... Ah!
Mullen, what happened? Mullen, can you hear me? Mullen! They must have gotten him.
Yeah, he was one brave little guy, that one.
But suppose they have just got him in the control room. I mean, maybe he's not dead.
Well,
then maybe one of us could rush them. We could bang on the door and jump the Chloro.
Well, the first guy would be a cinch to die.
But I would be willing to take the chance.
You?
Why not? I could try.
Not you. I'm the strongest. I do it.
Now, listen, you chaps. I'm an old man. I've got nothing to live for anyway. Suppose I throw myself at the ray gun.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? 20 minutes ago, there wasn't one of you who'd risk his little finger to get us out of here. Now you're falling all over each other.
Maybe Mr. Mullen teaches us a lesson, huh?
Yeah. Okay, Polly, give me the wrench. I'll start banging on the door. They say that selflessness is contagious. I guess maybe it is. I'd been a cynic all my life, a man who believed in nothing. Well, I'd come face to face with 4 human beings who proved that I'd been living a lie. I knew what I was going to do now. When the Chloro came to investigate our compartment, I had it all planned. If only my poor, weak hands would hold out long enough. Ready?
Ready.
Here goes. That should bring him.
Try again.
Wait, listen. It's at the door.
Get ready.
It's opening the lock.
For poor old Mullen now.
Steady.
No! Let him have it! Wait! Stop it! It's not the Chloro! Wait!
Good Lord. It's Mullen.
Here, get the helmet off. That's it. All right, now lift. Mullen, are you all right?
I seem to be quite all right.
Well, the Chloros.
Both dead. At least I hope so.
Well, what happened?
Well, I banged on the steam tube hatch and a Chloro opened it.
Yeah?
I hit him with a cylinder. It blinded him, I guess, but didn't kill him. He grabbed me and pulled me into the cabin. In the struggle, he broke my transmitter. That's why I couldn't talk to you. Finally, I managed to club him down.
Well, what about the other one?
The other one almost got me. It must have heard the scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun. What I did, I guess, was pure reflex. The cabin atmosphere was chlorine, of course, and the greenie didn't have a spacesuit on. So I just turned on the oxygen valve in that spare tube. It was like spraying an insect with poison.
Well, you're a brave man, Mullen. I'd have been scared to death. Mullen, what is it? Mullen. An hour later, false hands and all, I was at the controls of the ship, headed for Earth. We'd gotten rid of the chlorinating equipment and restored the oxygen naturally. Mullen was asleep in the cabin under a sedative, or so I thought until the cabin door opened. Mullen, for Pete's sake, get back to bed.
No, I'm quite all right now, really. Do you mind if I watch how you operate the ship?
Oh, no, not at all. Sit down. You know, I guess I owe you an apology. I didn't think too much of you.
That's your privilege.
No, it isn't anybody's privilege, Mullen, to despise another. For years now, I've abandoned hope of finding any decency in human beings. I owe you a vote of thanks.
You embarrass me, Mr. Stewart. I didn't do it for any heroic reasons, I assure you. Far from it.
Well, why did you do it, Mullen? That puzzles me very much.
Well, Mr. Stewart, I'm a bookkeeper. 17 years ago, I left Earth to work on Arcturus. I never made much impression on anybody on Earth, although I wanted very much to have people like me. Well, about a year ago, I started to write to my family again. Don't ask me why. And then I asked for a leave of absence to go home after 17 years.
Well, I still don't understand. It wasn't patriotism or love of a woman or money or any of those things. What was it?
Mr. Stewart, haven't you ever been homesick?
have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features A Gun for Dinosaur by L. Sprague de Camp, a story of hunters in the bloodiest and most ferocious arena of all prehistoric Earth, where hunting reptile heavyweights is no job for human lightweights. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The C-Chute, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Isaac Asimov and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Lyle Sudrow, Stan Early, Bob Hastings, Mercer McLeod, Danny Ocko, and John Gibson. Your announcer, Bill McCord. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week, on a distant planet in a forgotten colony of Earth, a man is ordered to commit a murder. Listen to Skulking Permit on X-1 next week.
After her baby daughter was lost in a shipwreck 14 years ago, Mrs. Patricia Gregory started searching the world over in the hope that her little girl might still be alive. Now Mrs. Gregory is again in the South Seas, and with her on her private yacht are Captain Tex Bradford and Jerry Hall. Jerry was a young radio operator in Los Angeles who received the first mysterious message about an old sailor having seen the Magic Island and the little white girl on it. The yacht is lying now completely becalmed near a strange bank of fog.
I tell you, you've got to believe me. You've got to believe me.
Don't get so excited, Jerry. We can hear you without your shouting like that.
Yeah, let's take it easy, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. But this is something to get excited about. You know that fog bank over there is not fog, don't you, Captain Bradford?
Well, it doesn't act like any fog I ever saw, Jerry, but what else could it be?
But, Mrs. Gregory, you still think it's fog, don't you?
What else can I think?
Well, you can think about the story that the old sailor told and the Magic Island. That fog, well, or whatever it is out there, is just where the old man said we'd find the island, isn't it?
Right to the inch, boy.
And this yacht was up against it, in it. But we didn't get wet or cold from it. Fog is wet, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And Captain Bradford's fog machine has always made a hole through every other fog he tried it on, hasn't it, Tex?
I've never found another fog that machine wouldn't penetrate to a point of fair visibility.
Then that stuff over there is not fog. It isn't wet, and your machine didn't even start to go through it. It looks just like a wall made of gray stone or cement.
Tex, you're not really convinced about this, are you?
I've lived a long time without seeing anything that looked like magic, as Jerry likes to call it, but I've never seen anything like this.
Well, I don't know whether it's magic or not, but it's sure funny. And there's another mighty funny thing about this whole business.
What else?
This ocean is too smooth right around the edge of that fog. Look farther away on the sides and behind us. The water is rough enough, but here, right here near that fog bank, the water is as smooth as glass. The boat isn't even rolling.
I noticed that, Jerry, and I don't like it.
Then there is something mysterious about this place. And if the island... Oh, if the island could only be here, and my little Joan alive and well on it.
Well, I don't know about the island, but I do know we ought to find out more about that fog stuff. Why not try sailing around it? Maybe we can see something from the other side.
Well, we did. What's the use? You couldn't see anything?
Tex, you've seen something you're keeping from Jerry and me. You do know something about that fog bank.
Do you, Captain Bradford? Do you?
Well, I didn't want to tell you. It doesn't help matters a bit. There's no use of all of us worrying about the impossible. But I do know a little more about that fog bank than you two.
Don't treat me as if I were a child. What is it, Tex?
Oh, we're stuck so bad now that a little more won't scare me any worse. What did you find out, Captain?
Well, you and Mrs. Gregory remember that you spent a long time working over that chart while I was on deck?
Yes.
I mean, before I called you to come and look at the fog?
Why, we were talking about Joan and the Magic Island and all. I guess we did. talk a long time.
What were you doing, Tex?
Well, I was on the bridge, and the skipper will tell you this is the truth.
Yes?
Go on. Go on.
Well, we have sailed around that fog bank.
We've sailed around it?
Gee. Well, what was on the other side?
A fog bank.
Oh. Then it is just fog.
Wait, Mrs. Gregory. Go on, Captain. There's more, isn't there?
There's a whole lot more. From the circumference of the circle we described in rounding this thing, it must be about half a mile around it. Possibly a little more. And it's perfectly round.
That doesn't tell us much.
I want to hear it all, Tex.
No, I don't want to get you all worked up over it. May not mean a thing. But our instruments read exactly the same on all four sides of that fog.
What?
You mean they didn't change at all as you went around?
That's it. And from our solar readings and my radio beam check, that reading is correct. Correct to a fraction of a second, but...
But what?
Hurry. Hurry and tell us, or I'm going to pass out.
The readings we took all around this thing belong in the center of it. Everything reads to a perfect center when you're sailing around the edge of that fog.
Then a regular vessel, I mean one that just sailing through here on a regular run, would skirt around that fog without knowing they'd run off their course.
I guess they would. We found nothing to indicate our course had been changed. And if we weren't looking for trouble, we would have figured the same as any other navigator, that we were just passing a small fog bank and not being compelled to follow a distorted curve around it.
Then that means just one thing. There is something behind or in that fog. Something. And that something is...
I'll bet it's the Magic Island. Oh, golly whiskers. We're here. We found it. Gee, Mrs. Gregory. Now we'll get your little girl back.
Not so fast, son. Even if there is an island there, what can we do about it? The yacht won't go through the fog. We tried that.
Then let's figure why it won't go through it.
That's out of the question, isn't it?
Nothing is out of the question with Tex and I to figure things out.
Well, just leave me out of that, Jerry. You figure this yourself. I'm stuck.
Well, if we can't sail through it, there's something funny about it. And something funny about a fog means it's being done on purpose.
Jerry, you mean it isn't just a natural phenomenon? That the fog is man-made, controlled?
How about those instruments, Captain? And the fog holding the boat just like a magnet. That's it. Magnet. Oh, giggling goldfish. Why didn't I think of that before? That fog is magnetized.
That's my idea, boy, but I hated to make such a wild statement.
Well, that sounds possible. There are a great many magnetic deposits and formations in many parts of the world.
But don't you see, Mrs. Gregory? We don't mean a magnetic field that just happened there. That fog has been magnetized by somebody or something.
Do you think that's possible? You're not just excited and running away with yourself, Jerry.
Well, if he is, I'm running way ahead of him. Patricia, that fog bank is not ordinary fog. It's magnetized as surely as we're standing on this yacht looking at it. And there's probably an island hidden in it.
Well, but Tex...
And that's not guesswork. It's a scientific probability.
What else would have held our boat against that fog but a powerful magnetic force of some kind? And what else but a magnet? And a magnet with somebody running it would have turned the boat loose when it got ready.
Why, it's thrilling. But it's terrible, too. What can it mean?
It can mean we're up against the greatest piece of electrical or chemical wizardry this generation has seen. And we're going to see all of it.
Where do we start, Tex?
Start guessing, and as if you've done pretty well so far, Jerry. Suppose you take the first guess.
Well, isn't it better to do something you're sure of than it is to guess?
What can anyone be sure of in these weird circumstances?
Got something definite in mind, son?
Well, we can see what's inside that fog ring. If the little plane lashed to the deck, we'll fly over it.
Of course. Why didn't you think of that, Tex?
I did, but it'll take an hour to assemble the wing spread, lower it to the water, and get ready for a takeoff. By that time, it'll be pretty dark. I don't like to try getting the plane back on board at night, except in an emergency.
Golly whiskers. Here you've got a magnetized bank of artificial fog right under your nose, and a magic island, and a... Well, how much do you need to make it an emergency?
Well, I meant a matter of life and death. That island, if it is inside the fog, has been there a lot of years, and it won't run away tonight.
Then we can't do anything until morning?
Oh, I guess not. Say, I've got it. I'll swim ashore. That's it.
You'll do everything else, boy.
You can't do that, Jerry.
I'll bet I can. And I bet I'll get through that fog, too. I won't wear anything that a magnet will hang on to.
And after you get through the fog, what then?
What do you mean? What then?
Mrs. Gregory and I are outside with the yacht. And if anything should happen to you, we couldn't get in there.
Why not try shooting through the fog?
No, you might hit... Of course, I mean, if this really is the island we're looking for, Joan might be hurt.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till morning.
I've got one small idea. Let's see. Skipper!
Aye.
Will you step up forward here, please?
Aye.
Now, Jerry, I want you to go into our cabin. Get that long black case, the one that looks like a violin case, out of the instrument locker. Bring it here and handle it as if it were eggs.
Right away, sir. I'll get it.
Sir?
Skipper, the swell is rolling heavier now. We can't use the motors to hold our position as I need all the power in this cable here. Will you try for a good anchorage so I can cut all the juice away from the engine room?
Sounded.
Well?
3
fathoms?
Aye.
Can I help, Tex? I'm so nervous, but for once I seem to be helpless. I'm sorry I've always been able to think with you before, but no,
I understand, darling.
Tex.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't, but I'm glad you said it.
Oh, I suppose I shouldn't have.
You shouldn't, and I've been waiting years to hear it.
Patricia,
Here's the case, Captain Bratt. Oh, golly whiskers. I guess you forgot the case, didn't you? I'll go back and bring it in again if you want me to.
No, Jerry, you just rescued me in time.
You don't yell for help very loud, do you?
Now, Jerry, come on. Let's hook up the machine. Break that cable. Bring the shielded lead plug over here while I open the case.
Are we going to anchor here for the night? The skipper's paying out the stern chain.
Yes. Tex thinks we'd better not move till morning, and the skipper reports sounding's okay for a good anchorage.
Can I help with the machine?
Not yet, Jerry. I'm a little afraid to have anyone but myself handle it until it's set up.
It's sure a funny-looking thingamabob. What is it?
I never saw this before either, Tex. Is that what you've been working on so secretly in the laboratory?
I've done nothing else for over a year, and it's perfect.
What is it?
Well, I haven't named it officially yet, but I think I'll call it my Straightoscope.
Straightoscope?
Well, what does that mean?
Well, it's a combination of strata and scope, as from stratosphere and periscope. In other words, it will do through the air, and at tremendous altitudes and distances, what the periscope will do within a very limited range.
I think it sounds lovely, Tex, but what will it do?
Left you behind that time, eh, Pat? How about you, son?
I think I know what you mean. You can look away up in the air, then away over someplace, then down again, like seeing over the horizon. Isn't that it?
That's it exactly, Jerry, and I know it works. I've tried it over a 300-foot building. When I was on the ground on one side, the objective was on the ground on the other side, and I saw it.
And now you're going to look over that fog and down onto the island.
Oh, can we? Really?
I'm getting excited now. You see, it's a case of plotting the trajectory of the wave curve I'm sending out. Figuring the density of the exact strata in the atmosphere I must refract the wave from to bring it down to Earth on the desired spot.
But how do you see anything with a wave?
These waves will return to me with almost as great an intensity as they leave the instrument with. Then I merely catch them in a tuned wave trap. And with a light valve and converter, I project the image on this little ground glass screen here and... Pat, Jerry, I've got it. I can see it.
Is it the island?
Is it, Tex? What do you see?
It is growing dark. The magnificent yacht of Mrs. Patricia Gregory rides at anchor just off a mysterious bank of fog in the South Seas. On board the yacht, Mrs. Gregory, her business manager Tex Bradford, and their young companion Jerry Hall are eagerly trying an experiment. Bradford has just set up a unique piece of mechanism through which he can see over the horizon, or over a building and down into the street on the other side of it. Now the machine is focused on the strange fog bank, and behind this bank lies what? Will this prove to be the magic island?
What do you see, Tex?
Hold on, son. Don't get excited now. I think we've got something here.
Oh, please, Tex, may I look?
Well, of course, Pat. Go to it. You'll be next, Jerry.
I'm almost afraid to look. 14 years is a long time to look for something. We're almost afraid to find it then.
Go on, Mrs. Gregory. You'll never get Captain Bradford to tell us what he saw through that thing. Take a look for yourself. Gee whiz, if Joan is there, after you hunting for her for 14 years, you ought to be the first one to see her.
You're a gallant lad, Jerry. Oh, Tex, what did you see?
Nothing doing, Pat. Here, you look. I just got the range for you. But hurry now, it's nearly dark.
All right. Do I put my eye here?
That's it. Steady does it, Pat. I'll work that sextant just a hair's breadth if you want to.
Right.
Do you see anything, Mrs. Gregory?
Hush, kid.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I I think I see a group of people. They aren't very clear yet. No, that's better. The whole island shines, as if it were polished stone or some kind of metal. Now I see the group more clearly.
Yeah? What else?
Jerry.
Yeah, I know, but...
Oh, Tex. Jerry,
She's fainted, kid. Run and get a glass of water out of my cabin. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Pat, you're all right, Pat. Just take it easy for a minute. Jerry's getting you a glass of water. Pat. There, that's better, Pat. Where's that water, Jerry?
I'm coming.
Oh, what? Tex. Tex, I saw...
Is she all right now? Is she all right?
She'll be all right in a jiffy. Hand me that glass of water.
Here.
Where's the water?
Huh?
Where's the water?
Oh, golly. I drank it myself. I'll get some more.
It's a good thing you didn't need that water.
I'm all right. Silly of me to do that, wasn't it?
Nothing you could ever do would be silly to me, Pat, but just what got you so quick? You saw something?
Tex, I saw that group of people. They're real, and they're on an island all right, and... Oh, it's almost too much to believe, but I thought I saw a young girl with them.
I thought I saw the same. And for your sake, I hope we're both right.
Here's the glass with the water in it.
Thanks, Jerry. Now I feel better. That's the first time I ever felt like fainting.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I would have fainted if I hadn't used the first glass of water on myself. I could tell what you saw from the way you acted. May I look now?
Help yourself, son.
Boy, what a thrill this is. Now, let's see. Oh, looks kind of cloudy at first. There now. I can see better. This focus is easy enough. I got it. Gee, there's people there. People on the island right inside the fog. Whole bunches of them. But they're all men. No, they ain't. Hey, there's a girl with them. A girl, Mrs. Gregory.
Yes, Jerry, I saw that too, but don't hope too much.
Hope? Nothing. That's your little girl. I know it is. That's Joan. She looks just like you do.
Now, Jerry, I made that machine, and I happen to know you can't distinguish features at that distance.
I don't care about her features. I'm talking about what she looks like.
You better let me take another look, Jerry. It's getting dark. It's pitch black in 15 minutes. We won't get any twilight. Better learn what I can about our situation before we hole up for the night. All right now, Pat?
Quite all right.
I'll steady you up, Mrs. Gregory. You just hang on to my hand. I'm not nervous anymore.
Thank you, Jerry.
What do you see, Captain?
There's a group of people on the island, all right, and... Well, now, there's a funny one. They seem to be pointing something at us.
Bet they're going to shoot. Let's duck.
Oh.
No, it looks more like a telescope. There's something like that, and they know how to look through that fog. They see us all right. Some of them are waving their arms and pointing at us.
Well, we sure couldn't see anything through the fog. Good thing you had this machine for reflecting your rays against the air over the island and looking down on it.
From the way they're acting, it's obvious they see us and see us plainly.
Is there any danger, Tex?
I think not. At least not so long as we just ride at anchor. Here, say something's happening.
What are they doing now?
They are not doing anything. At least not anything I can see, but the fog is. I've got it. They figured out that I'm watching them by means of rays refracted over the top of that fog. So they're closing it over the top.
Closing what over?
The island. All of it. You were right, Jerry. That fog is artificially made and perfectly controlled. Now they're covering up overhead with it. I can hardly see. That's all for now. They put a perfect roof of fog over that whole island, and it didn't take them more than 30 seconds to do it.
Then they did know we were watching them. Sure enough.
What do you think we ought to do now, Tex?
Nothing. Just nothing. It's nearly dark. There's no reason to fear anything, and they can't watch us any longer.
I'm getting a little chilly. Probably just nerves. It's anything but cold this evening.
Yeah, we'll go in the radio room and sit down and talk this thing over quietly. Now, you're doing splendidly, Pat. I know what a strain you must be under.
This would be a strain for anybody. I'll go ahead and open the door.
I'll leave this straightoscope right here for the time. You take that easy chair, Pat.
All right.
Jerry, warm up the radio.
Oh, boy. Do I get to use it?
Go ahead, son. Let me know when it's warm, and I'll give you the message.
Now, Tex, tell me honestly. Do you think there's a chance that my little girl is on that island?
After what we've seen in the last 6 hours, there's a chance for anything. I've never had any hope that you would find little Joan. Everyone agreed that she must have drowned in that shipwreck. And 14 years is a long time without news of her.
But now, Tex, now, don't you see that there's some reason that may make those 14 years of silence possible? That island is weird. It's mysterious. It's almost what the old sailor said it was, a magic island.
Agreed. And for the first time, I'm willing to admit there is a chance. A mighty good chance that the little girl on the island could be Joan.
How can we find out, and how soon?
We'll have to take our time. For one thing, we don't know what that island represents. Nothing in the ordinary or usual run of islands, that's sure. With all their fog machines or whatever they use to hide the island with, and their magnetized circle to keep boats off, it might mean a lot of things. And they're most likely all bad.
I've got the set ready, Captain. What's the call?
Call Johnson at J12C as you did before. Sign your name in the yacht call, J24Y.
Okay. J12C, J12C, Jerry Hall on J24Y to J12C. Hello, J12. Hello, J12.
Now hold it, Jerry. He's got an automatic recording pickup there. And even if he's out of the room, he'll get a sustained curve on his frequency disturbance graph when he checks it.
You're the most mysterious folks I ever saw. You've got yachts as big as battleships, private radio stations on wavelengths nobody ever heard of, and call letters like a kid's club. What's it all about?
You promised not to ask that again till we were ready to tell you, Jerry.
I'm sorry. But you'll be sorry if I die of curiosity.
Nobody ever died of it yet.
Well, I don't feel any too good.
Hello, J24Y. Hello, J12C, Johnson. Go ahead, J24.
Here he is. What'll I tell him?
Give him our position. Make the story about the island brief. Ask him stand by. If we do not report all clear by tomorrow noon, he has to ask D.C. to rush full protection. Story is for publication. He can use own judgment. Shoot it, kid.
Right. Hello, J12C. Jerry Hall for Captain Bradford on J24Y. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Hall. Go ahead.
Located island, surrounded by fog camouflage. Standing by for daylight to try landing. Boat held off this evening by magnetic ring in ocean. Probably 100 yards offshore. Our position is latitude 29.
Hey.
What's the matter, Skipper?
Danger.
What kind of danger?
Drifting.
Drifting? Well, what's the matter with your anchors?
Dragging.
Dragging the anchors? I don't hear any wind. What's going on?
Hurry.
Do I keep sending?
Stay right in there, son, no matter what happens. Stay with that radio and report in full to J12. Come on, Pat, we'll look around.
Are you still there, J12C? Hello, J12.
What happened? I can hear you very faintly, J24. Go ahead, Hall.
The boat is drifting. Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory have gone on deck with the skipper. No wind. Calm sea. Anchored in 3 fathoms, but drifting. Dragging the anchors. No reason for it. Stand by for emergency flash. Got that? Hey, the lights are going out. Something's wrong.
Your signal is fading, J24. Standing by for emergency call. Are you getting me, J24? Hello, Hall. J12C to J24. Why, can you?
Oh, the set's gone dead. And the lights are all out. The same thing that happened before. I'd better get up on deck. Oh! Golly whiskers. That chair hurt my shins. Where's the handle on this door? Ah, there it is. Oh, boy. Hey, Tex, where are you?
Come up forward, Jerry.
Where are you? I can't see a thing.
Right here, you nearly bumped into us. Your juice quit on you, didn't it?
Yeah. Same thing we had today?
The skipper's working with the crew to get out a spare anchor over the stern, but we're already dragging 2 of them.
Well, if it wasn't so dark, we might see what's happening.
All we can see is a funny gray color, and you can't see much of that.
Tex, Jerry, I think I can smell something unusual.
Huh? You're right. I smell a gas or a chemical of some kind.
I know why the sky's all gray, and I know what the smell is, too.
The fog. Is that it?
That's it. And we're drifting into that island.
We're going through the fog, Tex.
I know it. Look there. Dead ahead. See that faint glow?
It's a little lighter up there, and the fog isn't quite so thick. That fog is some kind of gas, by the smell.
Doesn't seem to affect us any, though.
We're drifting faster, aren't we? That glow of light is rapidly getting nearer.
I hope we don't smash into something before we get on the beach, or grab a pier, or a dock of some kind.
Why should we drift to the island? We tried for 2 hours to get through this fog with full speed ahead, and we couldn't move. Now we're drifting through it.
You don't drift and drag 2 anchors in 3 fathoms of still water with no wind and no tide.
We're not drifting?
I'll say we're not drifting. That magnetism is working again. Only stronger this time. We're being pulled. This boat is being dragged to that island.
Exploring Tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell.
When men start a new project, it starts with a plan. The plan has to be carried out, worked through, the details arranged for. You don't have any trouble until the thing you did not expect turns up. So far, human research has achieved an unmanned satellite in space. The sole purpose of any of these devices, any machine, is to serve human beings. The machine goes first to try things out, but the sole purpose of doing it is so that men can follow. And women, too. But there are problems of purely human nature that sometimes complicate the most scientific of plans.
Champagne. Oh, there you are, my dearest. My darling, my love, champagne.
Oh, good heavens, Jeff. You'd think we were getting married all over again.
Oh, why not? Let's make this our second wedding day. A celebration to end all celebrations. Besides, it is almost our first anniversary. Happy almost first anniversary, Lieutenant Alice Britton.
Oh, no. No, if this is going to be a late wedding feast, you must call me Mrs. Captain Jeffrey Britton. I demand my rights as a legally wedded wife, even if you do outrank me.
Don't giggle. It's not proper for an officer in the United States Space Service to giggle. And for goodness sake, don't tell me the champagne bubbles tickle your nose.
Oh, they don't. I love the stuff. Pour me another.
Another, my dear Mrs. Britton. That was the finest half-pint of domestic champagne available, which is all a mere captain can afford. There is no more.
For shame. The finest rocket pilot in the United States, and you can't even afford another bottle?
No, not even for a going-away party.
Oh, Jeff. It is a going-away party, isn't it? I won't see you for 6 months.
Now, come on, sweetheart. Don't cloud up and rain. It's good duty, and you'll be back soon. 6 months isn't forever, you know.
Oh, I know. But being stuck up on an artificial satellite for 6 months without you isn't my idea of fun.
Oh, look, sweetheart, you'll like it up there. It's the oldest and biggest of our manned space stations. It has plenty of room inside and a crew of 400 officers and men. It even rotates on its axis to give you artificial gravity. At least you don't have to worry about space sickness.
Oh, Jeff, don't be so serious. It's not the fact that I have to be up there that bothers me. It's just that I'm going to miss you.
Ah, I thank you so much for that. I'll miss you, too. But there's nothing we can do about it.
How right you are. The Space Service has no use whatsoever for personal feelings. Except, of course, that they hope you don't get killed. Do you know what?
I give up what?
I was shown an instruction film. Told all about Space Station 1. You know how safe it is. Did you know that every compartment has individual heating and oxygen supply in case of emergency? And did you know that all the walls are filled with a plastic self-sealing compound like a car tire, so that if a small meteor hits it, it won't lose too much air?
Well, sure, it's safe. 1,000 miles straight up over Earth, and you're as safe as in your bed at home.
Hooray for safety! And now, my dear cheapskate husband, will you do me the favor of buying me another bit of champagne? Or will I have to buy it myself?
Oh, darling, this is our last night together for 6 months. So I suppose I'll have to buy more champagne. Hey, waiter!
Nurse Jenkins, send in Lieutenant Britton.
She'll be right in, Doctor.
You wanted to see me, Major James?
I certainly do. Being medical officer of Space Station 1 isn't an easy job under any circumstances. But you have made it 10 times as difficult.
I didn't mean to cause you any trouble, sir.
Well, you certainly have. I just got the laboratory report. The test was positive.
It was? Oh, that's wonderful.
Wonderful? What do you mean, wonderful?
Well,
My dear Lieutenant Britton, has it escaped your flittery female mind that you were in Space Station 1 in an orbit more than 1,000 miles from the surface of Earth? Have you forgotten that?
No, sir.
Well, if I had Captain Britton up here, I'd personally break his neck, but he's not. He's safe down on Earth while you're the one who's going to have the baby.
Major James, neither my husband nor I intended this to happen.
Of course not, but it did, nevertheless. Oh, I suppose it's not your fault, Lieutenant, but it leaves me in an awkward position. What are we going to do? This is a space satellite, not an obstetrics ward. I have neither the drugs nor the equipment to take care of you.
Of course not. You'll have to send me back down to Earth when the next rocket leaves.
What? You've been up here 2 months now, and your baby is due in another 7 months. Do you think I would risk sending you down to Earth in a rocket at 9 gravities of acceleration? Not at this stage of the game, Lieutenant.
How can I stay here?
There's nothing else you can do. I'll have to contact the hospital at White Sands Rocket Base and have them send up the equipment I need on the regular supply rockets. Whether we like it or not, you'll be staying with us for a while. And we're going to have to take very good care of you.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This is Bill Goodwin. You know, someone once said humor is the true democracy. And that's why we Americans can smile when we tell the stories of the legendary heroes who helped to build our country's great institutions and industries. Like Bowleg Bill, hero of the tuna fishing industry. Back in Provincetown, Massachusetts, they claimed that when it came to hauling in the horse mackerel, as the Easterners call tuna, Bill could handle 2 gaffs at once and catch more than any 6 men put together. And they're still talking about the time Bill caught old Slick Britches, the biggest horse mackerel of them all. No one could ever get his hooks into Slick Britches, who weighed 2,000 pounds and had a tail 6 feet long. But Bowleg Bill promised to land him single-handed. He set out in his boat, toss-up, and when he spotted Slick Britches, he made a grab for him, but the tuna slipped through his hands. So Bill dove over the side, and before folks knew what had happened, Bill was sitting astride old Slick Britches, who was bucking like a bronco. He leaped almost a mile out of the water, but Bill hung on. All over the harbor they went, jumping and leaping, but still Bill hung on. Fight leap over the toss-up, and then calmed down, all the fight gone out of him. Bill steered him toward shore, but all of a sudden he headed him back out to sea, slapped the tuna's tail, and jumped off. Now, folks were mighty disappointed when Slick Britches disappeared, but it was like Bill told them. There's nothing that'll break a cowhand's heart so quick as to find a critter with the ruff all rode off at the first mount. Yes, sir, it is a democracy which lets us tell the stories of such a legendary character as Bowleg Bill with a twinkle in our eyes and a chuckle in our throats. And so long as we continue to laugh together as a people, ladies and gentlemen, we will live together as a nation.
Alice had called attention to the fact that the space station had not been adequately designed. It had been designed all right to take care of men and of women, but taking care of human individuals is not enough if we are to really enter the space stage. We have to take care of the human race. That's something Alice was bringing to attention.
Here's some more of the laboratory reports on Lieutenant Alice Britton, Doctor.
Oh, yes, from her last checkup. How is she doing this?
Seems to be doing quite well, Doctor. The light gravity is helping, I think.
Oh, only 59 days to go. Less than 2 months, if our figuring is correct. I have nearly all the equipment I need now, and by the time she's ready, it'll all be here.
I've been checking it off the list as the supply rockets unload each piece. You don't have far to go.
You know, Nurse, 5 months ago when I found out that Lieutenant Britton was going to have a baby, I was really worried. But now it looks as though there's going to be nothing to it. One of the doctors from White Sands Rocket Base is coming up next month to help, and everything ought to go pretty smoothly. But I was sure worried for a while.
Why were you worried, Doctor?
After all, women aren't supposed to go around having babies in space stations.
Well, it looks as though Lieutenant Britton is going to set a precedent.
Good heavens, I hope not. If all the women in the Space Service get that idea, we'll be running a nursery up here, not a fueling station.
Well, you'll just have to.
Emergency signal. There's been an accident.
Phone, Doctor.
Yeah, I'll get it. Sick ward, Major James speaking. What?
Have you got her out of there? Well, then put her on the stretcher and get her to Ward 3. I'll be right down.
What happened, Doctor?
A small meteorite hit Section 6, and Lieutenant Britton was in there when it happened. They're bringing her up now, but there's no way of knowing how badly she's hurt. Be careful. Easy now.
Oh.
Now put the stretcher down on the bed.
Oh.
Easy. That's it, yeah. Now just take it easy, Lieutenant. All right, men. She'll be all right now. Thanks. Close the door, please.
Oh. Oh. I hurt all over.
You'll be okay. Nurse Jenkins will bring down a hypo in a few minutes. You'll be all right.
I think I'll live, Major. But my ears are still ringing.
Well, you must have lost air. Can you tell me what happened?
I was in Section 6 checking some meters. All of a sudden, bam! A little meteor punctured the outer wall. Just a little bit of rock the size of a marble. But it was moving fast enough to put a hole in the wall.
It sure was. Then what?
And I wasn't hit. The air started going out into the vacuum of space. The wall is self-sealing, but a lot of air left the room before the hole closed. The automatic door closed. My ears were ringing. Everything got fuzzy. I guess I fainted.
You're lucky the meteor was small and moving fairly slowly. Sealing compound in the wall closed the hole before you lost too much air, really. Your nose isn't bleeding. You haven't got the bends, at least.
No, but I'm afraid the baby's going to be here sooner than we expected.
Yes, it looks like it. And don't worry. 7-month babies are just as good as 9-month ones. And you're a pretty healthy girl. You'll be all right. And so will the baby.
I know we will. Take care of us, will you, Major?
Sure. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. Remember? How is she, nurse?
Gave her a hypo. She'll be able to relax a little. She's lucky to be alive.
It's not all luck. Everything worked automatically. That's what saved her.
Oh, she's all right now. You want me to prepare the room next to hers as a delivery room? We'll need it soon.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. But how soon, do you think?
Not more than an hour or two, I'd say. What's the matter, Doctor? You look worried.
Your premature baby has to have a specialized environment. An incubator. If it doesn't, its chances of survival are small, right?
Well, yes.
Well, we haven't got an incubator. The nearest one is more than 1,000 miles away. Straight down.
The plans that had been made, again, were not sufficient. You know, many times, a man who is working with machines and knows the machine in full, understands what it does and its functions, has never recognized what its basic nature is. He's too close to it. It's the forest and the trees again. And sometimes somebody who really doesn't know as much about the machine understands it better.
Major James speaking. Yes, Colonel. From where? Europe. Yes, sir. Yes, I understand, sir. Very well, Colonel. Thank you. Oh, brother, that does it.
What's the matter now, sir?
Our message to White Sands was intercepted. The newscasters have gotten hold of the story. The communications officer just picked up a broadcast from Europe. Big stuff. First baby born in space. Emergency measures being taken. The whole world knows about it now, and everybody on Earth is praying for Lieutenant Britton and her baby. Big sob story.
Oh, Doctor, you may not like all the publicity, and maybe it isn't a good thing in some ways. But personally, I'm kind of glad it happened.
Oh? But why?
Doctor, that girl may need all that praying.
Better get things ready, nurse.
How long do we have?
Half an hour at the outside. I had Nurse Bryson fix up the preliminaries. Any news?
Oh, station commander called. He said that White Sands has assigned Captain Britton to pilot the rocket that's bringing up the incubator. She'll be glad to see him. She's supposed to have gone back to Earth some months ago.
Yeah, it'll probably do her good to see him.
How's she feeling now?
Oh, pretty fair. I think she'll be all right. She's got a lot of nerve, that one.
She'll be every bit of nerve if she loses that baby.
I know. You don't need to remind me. We need an incubator within half an hour, and there won't be one here for 2 hours. We haven't got it, and that's that. What can I do? I've tried everything.
Can't the construction crew build one?
Well, I thought of that first thing. I called the construction officer. He told me that there isn't any spare material up here to build one out of. It costs plenty to ship stuff up here by rocket, so they only order what they absolutely need.
Isn't there anything at all?
Well, not unless they cut holes in the space station. And that's what they're doing. They're ripping out one of the partitions. They'll use a heater from a wall and the oxygen apparatus from a spacesuit. They're trying to get it finished in time.
But they won't finish in time, is that it?
That's it. They'll get done about 15 minutes before the rocket gets here. There's just no time, that's all. Now, try to take it easy, Lieutenant. Don't rush things.
Well, I'm not rushing anything.
Well, now, don't worry about anything. You'll be all right.
I know. But I wish Jess was here.
Your husband is on his way, Lieutenant. He's taking a special rocket up from White Sands.
How long will it be? You'll have to hurry.
He'll be a little late, I'm afraid. We have the delivery room all ready. It won't be long now.
I know it won't. Did you get all the stuff you needed? How about the incubator? Well?
There isn't any incubator. I didn't take the possibility of a premature delivery into account. It's all my fault. But I've done what I could. Your husband is bringing an incubator up in the rocket. It won't be too long. I think we'll be able to keep the child in good health until he gets here. Lieutenant Britton. Alice, this is no time to get hysterical. Stop it.
I'm not hysterical, Doctor. You are. Look at you. You're so nervous. You can't even think straight.
What do you mean?
Well, figure it out for yourself. Take a look around you and ask yourself, why is a space station like an incubator?
Good heavens, of course, that's it. Can I come in?
Yes. We finally made it. Come over here.
Hey, you look fine. How's it feel to be the most famous mother on earth? Huh? Or all of it?
Oh, I don't care about being famous. It's wonderful just to be a mother. And how do you feel, Daddy Britton?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Say, I brought you an incubator, but Major James said you won't need it. I asked him why, and he said he felt too foolish about it to explain. He said I should ask you. What's the story?
Well, it was very funny. Poor man was running around in circles worrying about an incubator. He had you bring one up, and I understand he had the construction crew tearing down the walls to make one.
Really?
Really. And I finally asked him, why is a space station like an incubator? And he got it right away.
Got it? Got what?
Oh, don't you see, silly? A space station is a sort of an incubator. It protects us poor, weak humans from the airlessness and extremities of temperature in space. And each room of this station is a separate compartment. They can be self-sustaining if they have to.
So what did the Major do?
We just had one whole room isolated. You raised the temperature, pumped in extra oxygen, and bingo, he had an incubator.
Well, where is my son? I want to see him.
Your daughter, dear, and she's in the next room.
Huh?
Oh, but you can't go right in. You just wait. You've got a good many years ahead of you to get acquainted with her.
All right. I guess I just have to practice getting acquainted with you. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the impression that science fiction has to do with machines, and it's all about gadgets and ray guns. It isn't. That's why it's science fiction. It has to do with human beings and the problems that human beings will have with the machines we do and must live with. And if the machines aren't properly designed to recognize that their purpose is to serve humanity, they're no good either.
Heard in our cast tonight were Lawson Zerbe, Carol Teitel, and script was by Randell Garrett. Produced and directed by Sanford Martin in New York. Guy Wallace speaking. This is the world's largest network.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When we last saw Clark Kent, he and Editor Perry White were in the latter's office at the Daily Planet trying to contact a theatrical costumer in order to hire a prison guard's uniform. Knowing that Henry Benson, ex-city treasurer, being held for $1 million shortage, is to be transferred from the city jail to the state prison, and knowing also that Duke Renard and his gang have orders to waylay Benson and get rid of him to keep him from talking, Kent is planning to present himself at the jail as a state prison guard and ride in the car carrying Benson. But what Kent doesn't know is that the hour of Benson's departure has been changed from 9 to 8. It is now 8:30, and while Kent in his hired guard's uniform is on his way to the jail, Renard and his henchman Curly have taken over the drawbridge spanning the Red River, a bridge over which the sheriff's car carrying Henry Benson must pass. Renard plans to open the draw as the car approaches and send it hurtling down into the deep tidewater below. Listen.
All right, Curly. Let's test these levers just to make sure we know how to run it. This one says, open, full speed. You watch the bridge through the window.
Okay.
All set?
Yeah, let her ride. Hey, she's open like a pair of scissors.
Let me look. Yeah, that does it. I guess she'll stop when you push the lever back.
Open up as wide as she'll go, Duke.
That's far enough. We don't want to jam anything.
And she stopped. But boy, there's a hole there you could drop 5 trucks through. Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
See them big red lights blinking on both sides of the bridge?
Yeah, they must go on automatically when the draw's open.
Then we better put them out. Whoever's driving that sheriff's car will stop on a dime when he sees them red lights.
Yeah, you're right. I'll close the draw and you go out and put a couple of slugs in the light. This must be the lever. It says close, full speed. Well, here goes.
That's the ticket. She's closing. Okay, turn her off.
Take care of those lights. You better tell Spud out in the car or he'll think the shooting means something.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute. You better take this old guy out to the car. He's liable to come to and set up an awful howl. And anyway, it won't look good for the bridge keeper to be laying here out cold in case a car stops to ask directions or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Tell Spud there's some rope in the trunk. You can tie the guy up, gag him, and toss him in the back seat. Get him under the arms and drag him. He ain't heavy.
Okay. I got him.
Don't waste any time. Get back here fast.
Right.
Now, let's see if I got these levers right. This one with the red handle opens the drawer, and this one with the green handle closes it. Red opens, green closes. That ought to be easy enough. What time is it? 8:30. 10 more minutes, and the sheriff's car should come rolling along. There goes one red light. I sure hope there's some cops following Benson's car. Won't that big mouth pop open when they see they can't get over the bridge? I'd like to stick around just to watch them. Light number 2. Now we're all set. Okay?
Yeah, Dead-Eye Dick, that's me. 2 shots, 2 lights.
I heard him. Bud taking care of the old guy?
Yeah, he's keeping the car motor running for a quick getaway.
That's all right, but we won't need no quick getaway. The bridge will be wide open. If there's any cops, they'll need wings to get across.
Oh, hey, that's a hot one. Cops with wings.
All right, come on. We only got 10 minutes. I want to test the levers again. Stand by the window.
Okay. Let her ride. There she goes.
While Duke Renard tests the drawbridge for the last time, preparing to work the diabolical plan that will mean death by drowning for whoever is riding in the sheriff's car, Clark Kent, disguised in a prison guard's uniform, is ushered into the warden's office at the city jail.
This way.
Thank you. Yes, what can I do for you? My name is Edwards, Warden. I was sent down from the state prison to escort that transfer, Benson. What? Oh, yes, sir. He's scheduled to leave at 9. Who sent you down? Why, the head guard, Mr. McGuire. Well, you can go back, Edwards, and tell your head guard to check next time before sending a man 50 miles on a wild goose chase. Wild goose chase? Isn't Benson being transferred? Sure he's being transferred, but he left at 8 o'clock, almost 40 minutes ago. But he was supposed to leave at 9. I know, but the DA's office called and switched it to 8. Sorry you had to make the trip for nothing. Oh, that's all right. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, if he left 40 minutes ago, I'm too late. Someone crossed me up. Someone in the district attorney's office. Now, this must be the door to the street. Now, if I can find an alley to get rid of this uniform. Ah, here's one. It's dark enough. There, does it? Now, off with Kent's clothes. I'll have to move fast to make it in time. Even at Superman. Now, up, and away!
Red cloak streaming in the wind, the man of steel streaks into the darkness with the speed of light, battling against time and the black shadow of impending death. Following the Conway Turnpike, his sharp eyes scan the white ribbon of road, searching for the telltale red light that marks the sheriff's car. Suddenly, he spots it far ahead, swoops down in a breathtaking dive.
That's the car, right below me. I don't know how I made it, but I did. No time to stop them now. The bridge must be up ahead a mile or so. I just drop down gently on the top of the car and ride along with them. It's dark enough so I won't be seen. Down! There. I don't think they heard that. Not with the motor racing the way it is. This isn't too bad after all. Now let's see how far Renard and his gunmen will get.
Meanwhile, back at the bridge house, Duke Renard stands at the bank of levers controlling the draw, while Curly peers out the window.
Well, what's doing?
I don't know yet. I seen some headlights. Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a car coming.
Sheriff's car?
I can't tell you. It's about a mile up the road, but coming fast.
Look for the red light sticking up out of the top above the windshield.
I don't see no red light. Yeah, I see it now. That's the sheriff's buggy.
Okay, we'll open the bridge.
She's open swell, Duke.
Okay, keep your eye on it. Where's the car?
About half a mile away.
It's got a red light.
Yeah, you can't miss it now.
How's the bridge?
I think it's open far enough. Yeah, plenty. Shut it off. Come on over and watch. This is going to be something. See the car coming?
Yeah, I see it.
Ain't they going to be surprised when they don't find nothing but air under them?
I only see one car, no cops following them.
Well, that makes it easier. Here she comes.
Wait till you hear them brakes squeal at the last second when it's too late.
Yeah, that'll be something. It won't be long now. He's traveling fast.
Another couple of seconds. You can't tell the draw's open. This is it.
He's falling.
Right into the drink.
Hey, Duke, look. He ain't falling no more. The car's flying across the other side.
You're crazy.
No, I ain't. Look.
What? Hey, we're seeing things.
Hey, there's the car on the road again, heading for the state prison.
Something's wrong. The bridge didn't open. We gotta follow him. Come on.
The bridge opened, gentlemen. Huh? And you're not following anyone.
Who are you?
I watch over drawbridges that rats like you open.
Give it to him, Curly.
Now, you bet I will.
I'll take that gun.
No. You're breaking my arm.
Drop the gun.
No.
That's it. Keep away from that gun, Renard. I said keep away from it. All right, maybe you'll obey this order. Now, you're next, Curly.
Oh, I ain't done nothing. Honest, I ain't. It was him figured it out.
Who's behind all this, Curly? Who's the big guy?
I don't know. I swear I don't. He never told us.
You're lying.
Ask Duke. Go ahead, ask him. He's coming, too.
All right, get up on your feet, Renard. Up.
What hit me?
I did. And it was only a sample. Now, who's your boss, Renard? Who's the big guy?
You'll never get me to talk. Never.
That's what you think. Close the drawbridge, Curly.
Okay.
Where's the gatekeeper?
I don't know.
Where is he, Curly? Talk fast.
Tied up in the car on the other side of the bridge.
All right, turn that motor off. We'll get the keeper after we take you two specimens up for a little ride. I think that may loosen your tongues.
I ain't done nothing.
Come on, we'll find out what you've done. Here we go.
Yes, this is the district attorney's office. Who? Oh, just a minute.
Probably Mr. White.
Yes, he wants to know what about the story.
Oh, tell him I'll be in within the hour.
Mm-hmm. He'll be at the Planet office within the hour, Mr. White. Okay. He says if you're not, you're fired.
For the 50th time.
Kent, I still can't believe you've solved this thing. You know, it doesn't make sense. Why should they... Oh, hello, Miss Carroll.
Good evening, Mr. Warren.
I'm sorry I had to drag you down at this hour of the night, but as I told you over the phone, we had some trouble on that Benson transfer, and I need some records.
It's quite all right, Mr. Warren.
You know Mr. Kent.
Of course. Good evening.
Good evening.
What records do you wish, Mr. Warren?
Well, we'd like to know what you're getting for fish today, Miss Carroll. It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Oh, no, I don't understand.
There's no use lying, Miss Carroll. Duke Renard confessed.
Oh,
We know the whole story.
all right. Then you know it.
There's just one thing we don't know. Why did you influence Henry Benson to steal public money?
Because I wanted nice things. Because I wanted to live like a decent human being.
And you needed almost $1 million to do that. What happened to that money?
I don't know. Renard got most of it. The rest we spent. I have some bonds, some cash. Oh, what's the difference?
And so, once again, Clark Kent, in the role of Superman, solves another mystery and brings the enemies of truth and justice to the punishment they so richly deserve. But even as he returns to the Daily Planet office to write the story of the Benson case, another adventure is brewing. So don't forget to tune in the next episode and begin another exciting adventure with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine, presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. It begins today in the editorial room of the Daily Planet. Clark Kent is putting the finishing touches on a last-minute news release when Lois Lane saunters up to his desk.
How do you spell industrious?
Huh? Industrious? I-N-D... Oh, I get it. All right, no, I'm not industrious. I'm just knocking this thing out so I can get over to the football game. Incidentally, how about joining me?
Are you kidding?
No, not at all.
When I go to a game, Mr. Kent, I like to be escorted by someone who knows football. I don't want to spend the afternoon explaining it to you.
Oh, I think I know enough to get by. At least the sports editor believes I do. He just asked me to cover the game.
You cover a football game?
Sure.
I bet you don't even know the difference between a T formation and a double wingback.
Well, now, maybe I'll surprise you. Come along and see.
Now, don't tell me you once played football yourself.
Well, no, but, well,
I didn't think so. It's a little too rough, isn't it?
Now, look, do you want to go to the game or don't you?
Which game is it?
Metropolis University against State College. Metropolis won't have any trouble winning. They're all set for an undefeated season, but it should be a good game to watch anyway. Just to see the terrific Metropolis backfield roll up a big score.
Are you trying to tell me State's a pushover?
Well, of course. Everyone knows State hasn't a chance.
Oh, is that so?
Sure.
Well, when I went to State College, our team was famous for scoring upsets, and I have a hunch they'll do it today.
Well, maybe. But make up your mind. I don't want to be late. Are you coming?
Okay, I'll come. But wait just a second. I want to get something out of my desk. Here. This is for you.
Huh? What is it?
A brand new football rule book. You'll need it. Remember, I'm not going to tell you what the game's all about. Nice going, State. There, did you see that, Mr. Expert?
burst right through the middle of the Metropolis line for 15 yards. This is the upset I told you about.
It's no upset yet, Lois. Metropolis is still 2 touchdowns ahead.
Yeah, but they did all their scoring in the first 3 quarters. And now State's really going to town. We've got Metropolis on the run.
Well, it won't do State much good. Only 5 minutes left to play.
There goes Parker. Right through the middle of the line again. He's in the clear. He's going over. He is over. It's a touchdown. And that makes it 20-13. Here comes the try for the extra point. They made it. 20-14. One more touchdown and State has this game sewed up.
I don't quite understand it, Lois. Funny.
What's funny?
Well, the Metropolis team seems to be going to pieces.
And how? State's just too good for him.
No, it isn't that. All 4 backfield men could have stopped that last line plunge easily. Why, they tackle as if they weren't half trying.
Here comes the kickoff. Come on, State!
No, Metropolis is receiving. State won't have enough time to get the ball again and score.
There's the kick.
Oh, the Metropolis fullback dropped the ball. Fall on it! Oh, what's the matter with him? Why doesn't someone try to get that ball?
Get it! State recovered! It's State's ball on the 20-yard line. Here we go.
Something's wrong. What's happened to Metropolis?
Here's the play. Right through tackle. Look at him bowl those Metropolis men over.
He's not bowling them over. They're just not putting up any opposition. Oh, look at Harris, the captain. He's staggering. He's down.
Can't take it, that's all. State hits too hard.
Oh, there wasn't a man near him on that play. Look, they're carrying him off the field. Uh-oh. Spike Taylor, the Metropolis coach, just left the bench. Something's wrong.
There's a whistle, Clark. Sit down.
Oh, sir, I'm going down to the dressing room. I'll see you back at the office.
Wait a minute. Come back. Clark.
Oh, this must be the dressing room door. Well, there's Taylor pacing up and down. I was right. Something is up. Hello, Coach.
Oh, hello, Ken.
What's the trouble, Coach?
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Now, you know what I mean. What happened to Bob Harris?
Why, nothing.
Now, wait a minute. Look. I'm a newspaper reporter, but I've known you a long time. Harris collapsed on the field without being touched.
Why, someone clipped him during a play.
You mean State's playing dirty football?
No, of course not. Now, don't go saying anything like that in the Planet. It's not true.
Well, then what is the truth? You've got a team out there on the field that's going to pieces. It's cracking up. Well, they tackle like a bunch of high school freshmen. They fumble, they fail to recover, they mess up plays. What's happening?
I wish I knew.
Oh, there is something wrong, huh?
Yes, Kent, there's something wrong. Something seriously wrong.
You don't know what it is?
I haven't the faintest idea. Those boys of mine went out there in the pink of condition. They were keyed up to a beautiful pitch, ready to rip through State like a tornado.
Well, they did for the first 3 quarters.
Yes, I know. And something went wrong. They all seemed listless. Harris never fumbled a kickoff in all the 4 years he's been on the team. The day the ball slipped through his hand as though his fingers were greased. And a few seconds later, he collapsed.
Where is he now?
In the infirmary. Dr. Stone of the medical school is examining him.
What's that?
Either State scored again or...
Well, you squeezed that one out, Coach.
Yes, but it's small comfort. Come into my office, Kent. I don't want the boys to see me when they troop in. Sit down.
Thanks.
I should have known you'd be the first person to suspect something.
Well, I couldn't very well help it. After all, 11 men don't all fold up the way that bunch did.
11? You mean 30? Every substitute on the squad seemed to be washed out. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Have they been breaking training?
Not a chance.
Could it be some sort of an epidemic? Maybe the flu?
I don't think so. We'll know better once Dr. Stone gets through examining Bob Harris. But it couldn't be anything like that. Why, during scrimmage this morning, I had all I could do to hold them back. I felt sorry for the State line. Never in all my 20 years of coaching have I seen a team so primed for a game. And then to have them fold like a house of cards. Come in. Oh, it's you, Dr. Stone. Come in. This is Clark Kent of the Daily Planet newspaper. Dr. Elihu Stone, assistant to the dean of the medical school.
How do you do, Doctor?
How do you do, Mr. Kent?
Well, Dr. Stone?
I can find nothing wrong with the young man, Mr. Taylor. He seems to be in perfect health.
But how do you account for his sudden collapse?
Probably nervous exhaustion.
Well, it doesn't sound likely, not with Bob Harris. He prayed 60 minutes at a time without drawing a hard breath.
Well, I examined him as completely as I could under the circumstances. In fact, I took the precaution of securing a sample of his blood for microscopic examination. I have it right here in a vial.
And you say he's in perfect health? Nothing wrong?
Absolutely nothing. Heart action strong and regular. Pulse good, respiration perfect. Marvelous specimen of manhood.
Well, maybe I'm crazy.
Why do you say that?
Because Harris wasn't the only one affected. Every man on the team seemed to droop.
If you'll pardon me, Doctor, I was wondering whether it mightn't be some sort of food poisoning. I found no indication of that in my examination of Mr. Harris. Well, I must go up to the laboratory now and examine this blood specimen. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Taylor? Please don't hesitate to call on me. Oh, I was delighted to have met you, Mr. Kent. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, Dr. Stone. Yes? What sort of care should Harris get?
Oh, he's quite all right now. Up on his feet. He's taking a shower, I believe.
He is?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks a lot, Doctor.
Yes, you're quite welcome. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir.
Well, that's a relief.
Relief?
And how? I was imagining all sorts of things. Well, it's good to know there's nothing wrong.
I wonder.
What do you mean?
I'd suggest that you talk with Bob Harris. Ask him what happened before he collapsed.
Oh, look, Kent, don't get me biting my nails all over again. Stone said there was nothing wrong with Harris, and that's enough for me.
Well, now, just think about it a minute. Harris wasn't the only one affected. He happened to keel over, but every man on the team seemed to be hit by this strange malady.
Oh, Walt, take it easy. What do you mean, strange malady? Don't make it worse than it is.
I'm not trying to make it anything.
Well, let's drop it then.
Well, I don't think it should be dropped.
Now, look, Kent, I'm running this team.
I know, Coach, but you have to...
Yes?
Bob Harris, Coach. Can I see you for a minute?
Here's your chance.
Yes. Come in.
Oh, sorry to bust in this
That's
way,
all right. That's all right. Close the door. You know Clark Kent of the Daily Planet?
Sure. Hello, Bob.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kent.
How do you feel, Harris?
Well, pretty good now. I wanted to tell you, I didn't mean to poop out. Something hit me, like a ton of bricks.
Well, how did it happen?
Gosh, I don't know. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, my legs got heavy. And then my head began to swing. Next thing I knew, there was a play through left guard, and I couldn't get to it. It just dropped.
Well, don't worry about it. We won the game. That's what counts.
Yeah, I know, Coach, but I was talking to the rest of the boys. Hit them, too, and they're worried. Some of them are even scared.
What?
Sure. Bud Regan's nervous as a cat. Tiny Warren's all set to hand in his suit. He says he's through.
Now, wait a minute, Harris. Wait a minute. This can't go on. You go back and tell the boys there'll be a meeting in the gymnasium in an hour. I want every one of them present.
Okay. Glad to see you, Mr. Kent.
Righto, Bob. Well?
I guess you were right. Something's got to be done about it fast. Too much depends on the Metropolis team going through the season undefeated. Entirely too much.
What are you driving at?
Kent, we're not just playing football to win this year. We're not playing to put half the squad on the All-American or get a bid to the Rose Bowl. We're playing for the lives of thousands of kids. We're fighting against death, and we've got to win. We've got to win.
What does Coach Taylor mean? How is the Metropolis team playing for the lives of thousands of children? Is there something behind the sudden collapse of one of the best football squads in the country? It looks like mystery and adventure ahead in this thrilling football story, so follow each episode with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. It's a quiet day at Space Academy. And in their dormitory room, Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are taking some time off for a bit of intensive study. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a message on the intercom.
Attention, please. Attention, please. Cadets Corbett and Manning report to briefing room number 3 on the double. Cadets Corbett and Manning on the double to briefing room 3.
Number 3, that'll be the next door, Roger.
Wait a minute, Tom. Let me cross my fingers.
For what?
Luck. I only hope it's Captain Strong and not Commander Arkwright in there.
What's the difference? If you're in a jam, you're in a jam.
Not quite. The captain just sort of trims my chest, but the commander, he blasts them.
Fingers all crossed?
And toes. Let's go. No commander. Thank Jupiter.
How do you do, gentlemen?
How do you do, sir?
Cadets Corbett and Manning.
That's right, sir.
Permit me to introduce myself, Colonel Roscoe Wilberforce.
Colonel?
The rank is an honorary one. Here, these orders from Commander Arkwright will better explain my presence.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Wilberforce. That's a familiar name, sir.
It should be, my boy. To make it known, I've spent enough credits to have it emblazoned across the sky in letters of fire. I, Cadet, am the proprietor and sole owner of Wilberforce's worldwide circus, the greatest show on earth.
Of course. I remember seeing it when I was a kid.
Well, Grandpa, you're going to see a lot more of it.
You've read the orders?
Yes, sir.
What cooks, Tom?
We're being placed on detached service and charged with transporting the Colonel's circus to the planet Venus.
A circus?
Not a, my boy. The circus.
Through space, I may be blast happy, but I don't get it.
A cultural mission of the greatest magnitude, Cadet Manning. An interplanetary circus. Yes, for the first time, the greatest show on Earth shall become the greatest show in the universe.
We're transporting a 3-ring circus through space.
Only one, my boy. This is in the nature of an experiment.
The orders say that you have a space freighter for transportation.
That's right, Cadet Corbett. The Leo. Most suitably named for the first lion I ever owned. A splendid piece.
Which brings up another point. Are there going to be animals in this space circus, Colonel?
But of course, lad. What circus would be a circus without animals? We'll be transporting my star act, Princess Marja, and her 20 ferocious felines.
20?
You think that's too many?
I think 1 is too many.
Roger. We can't actually say, Colonel, until we see the ship and its loading and storage facilities.
Excellent. I have a jet car outside to take us to the spaceport.
Are your animal men handy so that we can discuss the problem with them?
Princess Marja herself is there with my chief animal handler, Vance Tremor.
Princess? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go!
That's it, Princess.
Are all the cats fed, Vance?
Tearing the meat apart and purring like kittens. When's the Colonel going to show up with those space jockeys?
Well, he left the academy a few minutes ago. Ought to be here shortly.
Think I got time to get a bite before they show up?
Sure, go ahead, Vance. Just tell me where you'll be in case we need you, huh?
Down at the spaceport cafeteria. I'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Hello, Vance.
Hi, Mr. Dimitro.
You're late. What kept you?
Feeding the cats. Here, let me punch up my food order. This apple pie, cup of coffee. That's all. As soon as I get my food, we can talk. Okay. Now, what's on your mind, Mr. Dimitro?
Can't you guess?
I ain't bad. Well, now, my guess would be you won't offer me a job with your circus.
Let's suppose you're right. I got a good outfit. Not as big as Wilberforce's, but it can be.
Not if he pulls off this interplanetary tour. With all the publicity and advertising he'll get, your show won't draw a fly.
I know that. But suppose he can't pull it off. The publicity will backfire. What's more, he'll lose a fortune in credits.
Which could put him out of business and leave you without competition. Well, what's your offer?
Offer?
Don't be coy, Mr. Dimitro. You want me to sabotage, ruin the Wilberforce show. So what'll you pay?
Blunt, aren't you?
I get to the point, that's all.
Good. Shall we say 50,000 credits?
I never did like round numbers. I prefer percentages.
Meaning?
I do the job and we're partners. I get a 50% interest in your show.
Half the show? That's ridiculous.
Half of something is better than all of nothing.
Outrageous. I certainly...
And nothing's what you'll have if this interplanetary stunt works. We got a deal?
Look here,
Is it a deal?
I can't give... All right. It's a deal.
Good. And we're partners.
What do you plan to do?
I don't know yet. But you can bet your last credit on this, partner. Wilberforce's Circus is never going to give a performance on Venus. Or, for that matter, anywhere else.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Say, spaceman, have you sent for your space goggles yet? Well, if you haven't, listen carefully. The time to get this special Space Cadet equipment is now. Ask Mom to get a package of Kellogg's Pep. You'll enjoy that hearty whole wheat flavor. And Kellogg's Pep helps you take advantage of this exciting Space Cadet offer. These official space goggles are the same kind worn by Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning out in space. In fact, every cadet is issued space goggles by Space Academy Supply Headquarters. Now, here's where you come in. Supply Headquarters now has space goggles ready for all spacemen. They're ready to send them out to you right now. Oh, wait till you see these goggles, spacemen. They're made of one sweeping curved piece of clear, colored plastic, like a giant bubble covering both eyes. These goggles are designed for high-speed action. Why, you want to use them every time you're out on skates, on a bike, or riding in a car. Now, here's how to get your own official space goggles. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Now, make sure you write that down, spaceman. 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Now, send them to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Repeat, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Be ready to blast off like a real space cadet. Send for your official space goggles today.
Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are on detached service from Space Academy under orders to help transport an Earth circus to the planet Venus. Now, with circus owner Roscoe Wilberforce, they arrive at the spaceport, where the circus is ready to be loaded aboard the space freighter Leo.
Oh, I have been waiting for you, Colonel.
Meet Cadets Corbett and Manning. And this, gentleman, is Marja, mistress of 20 ferocious felines.
Keep the dealing, Colonel. My friends call me Maggie O'Neill.
Swell. I definitely plan on being friends.
How nice.
Marja, the boys are going to supervise the loading of our space freighter. They want to see what plans you've made for transporting the cats.
All right, Colonel, I'll show them the setup.
I'm going to check up on some financial details. If you need me, I'll be in the box office car.
I'm sure Miss O'Neill can take care of us, Colonel.
I know she can.
Yes, of course. I'll see you later.
All right, gentlemen, if you'll follow me.
It'll be a pleasure.
Simmer down, space boy. This is business.
Tell me, gorgeous, how did a dreamy space doll like you ever become an animal trainer?
At a very early age, I got my start taming wolves. Like you.
Oh.
Satisfied, Roger?
I feel a drop in the temperature. Suddenly become as cold as the rings of Saturn.
Well, let's go into the menagerie tent. My big cats can always make it hot for you.
Come on, Roger, let's go.
And here's the last of my beauties. Cecil, meet some space jockeys.
He doesn't sound like a Cecil.
Hey, don't put your hand in there.
He likes to have his ears rubbed. Got a bit of wolf in him.
Wolf?
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Manning. Rub his ears.
Thanks, but I've still got a lot of use for this arm.
So I gathered. Too bad. You know the old saying, love me, love my cat.
I think you've met your match, Roger. Well, Miss O'Neill, where are the shipping cages?
Why, the ones they're in. We've always used them on the tour.
Well, this is a little more than a tour, especially for 20 animals.
But why can't
You see, miss, when a rocket ship blasts off, everything has to be fastened down tight, including the crew.
I don't get it. What's the problem?
On blast-off, if those animals aren't secure, they'll be thrown to the floor of their cages with enormous force, enough to kill them, perhaps.
Sure, you're just going to have to tie your pets down, sweetheart.
Very funny, Mr. Manning. Very funny.
No, Miss O'Neill, Roger means it. Tell me, when the cats get sick, how does the veterinarian treat them?
If he's smart, he shoots them.
Those animals are worth 5,000 credits apiece. You don't shoot 5,000 credits. You use the vet's cage over there.
This one with the straps?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how does it work?
Well, the sick animal's prodded into the cage. We snag his feet, throw him down, and then pass those leather straps over the animal.
Which straps him down so he can't move at all.
Right. That way, a vet can even pull an animal's tooth. And has.
Some fun.
There's our answer. Equip 20 cages with straps. Tie the animals down for blast-off and release them afterwards.
Oh, we could do that.
Wait, look, honey, as far as I'm concerned...
As far as you're concerned, Roger, you'd better start developing an affection for cats.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Pretty kitty. Nice kitty. You're crazy, Cadet.
All right, Vance. When I open the cage, you start prodding Cleopatra into the other cage.
Cleopatra yet?
Tom and Roger, as soon as her paws get in those loops, pull her up against the bars of the cage. Then Vance and I'll anchor her to the floor.
Okay, we're ready.
Well, here goes. Poke her, Vance.
Go on, Cleo, move.
She doesn't want to.
Wait. Here she comes. Watch it. She's almost in the loops.
We're watching.
That's it. Yank! Pull her, boys. Come on, Vance.
Pull harder, Roger, pull. She's doing some pulling herself. Keep it tight. Like the tune from ancient history. Hold that tiger.
Roger, don't make jokes. Keep the rope taut.
She's getting one paw loose.
Watch out, Cadet. Watch out!
Oh! She got me. Ripped my arm.
Keep the rope taut, Roger, whatever you do.
I got it. My arm feels like it's on fire.
I can see. Cleo sliced right through your uniform jacket. You're bleeding.
Tell me something I don't know.
Hold tight, boys, while I get this strap through it.
Watch out for that free paw.
I will. Here, take it, Vance.
I got it.
2 more seconds, boys.
All right.
There. That's it. You can release the rope. She's secure now.
And unhappy. Look at those eyes glaze at us. I never saw anything worse, even on the dark side of Mercury.
I think it's going to work, Vance.
Yeah, if my arms hold out.
Let me look at that scratch, Rog.
Yeah, I don't
Cleo's
think so.
claws didn't do much more than scratch the skin, fortunately. But we better get you over to the spaceport infirmary right away.
I'm all right. I can take it, Junior.
Let's not run the risk of infection. We'll get the arm fixed, and then, well, there's only 19 more cats to go.
Only? By Jupiter, Tom, I want to get in outer space, where the only thing we'll have to worry about is bumping into a nice, gentle asteroid. Everything okay on the good ship Leo, Rog? Yeah, Junior. We blasted clear without any trouble, which is a surprise to me, I must admit.
How's the arm?
Okay, just stings a little once in a while.
Oh, good. Then we're on our way and in pretty good shape.
Yeah, considering the mission we're on, yeah.
Personally, Roger, I think it could be fun.
Sure, 1,000,000 laughs. Corbett and Manning, the cosmic clowns. I'll bet we wind up doing an act with this outfit. We'll be the rage of Venus.
You've got enough ham in you to do it.
I'm ignoring you. And speaking of Venus reminds me, I better go down and check the animals again.
Especially the one called Princess Marcia.
Could be, Junior, could be.
How often do you want her to trim your jets, Roger?
That, Thomas, was on Earth. Manning never functions properly as an Earthling. Space is my element. But you'll have to excuse me now. I must instruct the princess in the mysteries of space travel.
Go ahead, Roger. But one thing.
Yeah?
When she takes your head off and hands it to you, bring it back here. I've always wanted a solid ivory bowling ball.
And this, Margie, is the control deck.
Oh, fascinating, Roger.
Hey, who? Oh, Roger. The Princess wanted to see the control deck. Oh, sure.
Roger's been showing me over the ship.
And note the head, Tom. Still on the shoulders.
Huh?
Just a private joke, Miss O'Neill.
No. I prefer Marja or Maggie.
Right, Marja. Oh, by the way, has Roger told you yet that taking you to Venus is
Why,
like...
Junior. Marja, they call Venus the beauty of the planets. Well, taking you to Venus is like carrying...
Uranium to Pluto.
Roger, I think I detect that odor of wolf again.
Oh, Margie, you got me all wrong. I'm just...
You're going to wish you were, Roger.
Huh?
Both of you turn very quietly. Look at the hatchway. We've got company.
What are you...
Cats! How'd they get loose?
A tiger and 2 lions. Tom!
Don't move. I'll handle this.
Thanks, Margie, but I've got more faith in the parallel array. Tom, use yours.
I haven't got one. Remember, this is a commercial flight.
Well, there must be one on board.
Sure, in the weapons locker right outside.
Maybe I can slip past you. Oh, I guess I can't. Tom, those cats, they're getting ready to spring.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett in just a moment, so stand by.
Special report from Space Academy Supply Headquarters, Earth, to all space stations. Subject, official space goggles. Supply Headquarters reports all groups working full strength, day and night shifts, issuing official space goggles to all spacemen. Delivery to space stations on outer planets will follow shortly. Interview with Commander Arkwright specifically requests your fullest cooperation.
Spaceman, this is Commander Arkwright. As you heard in that report, we're going full speed ahead to make sure we have your space goggles ready for you. Now, here's what to expect. Space goggles are not like any other goggles you've ever seen. They're a one-piece plastic bubble that fits over both eyes at the same time. A sweeping plastic plate that protects your eyes from wind, dust, and dirt. It's a valuable piece of equipment for every spaceman to have. That's why I want you all to send for your space goggles as soon as possible. Now I'm going to play a special telerecorder message with complete instructions on how to get your official space goggles. Listen carefully and write down the necessary details.
To get official space goggles, send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to this address, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Repeat, Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan.
There are your orders, spaceman. Send for your space goggles right away.
Earth's largest circus, the Wilberforce Mighty Show, is making the first interplanetary trip ever attempted by a big top organization. And Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning have been placed in charge of the expedition. Part of their cargo is a wild animal act. Now, 3 of the big cats have somehow escaped from their cages and confront the cadets and Princess Marja on the space freighter's control deck. They stand there, weaponless, the path to the arms locker blocked by a tiger and 2 large lions.
Tom, the cats will be on us in a moment.
Easy. I can control them. Quiet, babies. Quiet. Give me that stool.
Okay, here.
We've got to get to the arms locker. Marcia can't lead those cats around like tabbies.
So you go, Tom. And kiss Cleopatra for me on the way. Nice, pussy, nice.
All right, baby. Easy.
Roger. Those magnetic sole shoes. Get them.
What?
Make like Cinderella. Put them on Marcia's feet.
Well, what are you going to do?
Deactivate the gravity stabilizer. Throw the ship into free fall.
What'll happen? All right, Cleopatra. Rex, do not get excited.
We'll be wearing magnetized shoes, so we'll stay on the metal floor. But without gravity, the animals will float in the air. Then I can get through, grab a parallel ray gun, and retake them.
Lift your foot, Princess. I'll put the shoe on.
Now, careful, Roger. Don't let them think you're hurting me.
I wouldn't want them to think that for the universe. Now the other foot.
Easy, babies. Easy. Down, Georgina.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, throw the ship in a free fall.
Easy, baby. Easy. What a sight. They are floating.
Come on, Roger. Let's get those parallel rays.
It is all babies. It will be over soon.
Give me one of those. Here. I'll freeze Cleo.
My pets. Statues. Drifting statues.
And she's sorry for them yet.
Oh, get them down, please. Which motor did you turn on?
Don't touch anything, Marcia. Turn that gravity stabilizer on and they'll crash down and break some bones.
Give me a hand. We'll pull them down on deck.
Okay.
Wait till I tell my grandchildren how Roger Manning twisted a tiger by the tail.
Don't you hurt her, Roger.
Oh, she can't feel anything, Marcia.
But she can see and hear you. The ray doesn't affect that.
Hey, that's right. I better make friends. Nice pussy. Nice pussy. See, I rubbed her ears.
Stand by. I'm going to turn the stabilizer on. Now, let's get these animals back in their cages.
Check, Tom. I like tiger rugs, but not with the tiger in them. All back in their cages now, Tom, so we can release them from the parallel ray and have a nice, peaceful trip the rest of the way.
I wouldn't count on that, Roger.
Why not?
Look at the lock on this cage.
Broken.
And not by the blast-off thrust. It's been deliberately smashed. My guess is that somebody on this ship doesn't want us or the circus to reach Venus.
But who?
That, Roger, is what's going to keep us busy for the rest of this trip. Because there's one thing we can be sure of. Whoever did this is going to try again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when Tom and Roger discover the traitor in their midst and pursue him through space. A race against death in Part 2 of The Greatest Show in the Universe. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, John Griggs, Leon Janney, and Connie Lemke. Today's program was written by Palmer Thompson, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and bran flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender. The bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and bran flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's.
You were somewhere else. Escape.
Of a man who is to die at the hands, as Hugh Cave tells it in Violent Horror.
That what, sir? Well, why I keep a man up there behind the bar? Strangers, I mean, of course, know about it.
Radio station 2.
Here, take a look. 21 jewels. Water seal case. Belonged to water seal case. Belonged to Tom Dawson, the painter. He was a little washed-out guy, always looked kind of lost. Nobody knew much about him, except he painted good pictures. I didn't know much about Elizabeth either, that girl he brought up from Sydney. It was pretty easy to guess about her. She gave him the watch. Yeah. Still runs if you want it. See? Got quite a tick if you hold it close up to your ear. Sounds a little like jungle drums way off in the distance. I suppose that's how it sounded to Tom Dawson there at the last, when that watch meant life or death and they were waiting for him out there in the darkness. Oh, that's quite a story. Only it's kind of hard to know where it starts, see? With Elizabeth, perhaps. Anyhow, Tom will tell it himself in his own words. I think he'd start with Elizabeth.
They didn't understand Elizabeth. How it was between us, what she meant to me. None of them did. They gossiped a lot the way they always do in tropic ports. But they didn't really know anything about Elizabeth. They didn't know how sweet and how convincing she could be. How she could wrap a man around her finger. Like the time she gave me the watch.
Go on, Tom, open it. I want to see if you like it.
Like what, Elizabeth?
Open it and see.
You come home with a package and... It's a watch.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one, too. It's made for the tropics. All sealed and everything. It'll run forever.
Yeah, honey, but where'd you find a watch like this in Port Moresby?
Well, I didn't exactly. I got it from Captain Ducar.
Ducar?
He has a trading schooner. I used to know him in Sydney.
Yes, I think I've heard him mentioned recently around the bar at the hotel.
Probably. He's been in port for a couple of weeks. Do you really like it, Tom? The watch, I mean.
Sure, baby. Who wouldn't?
Now, you can always tell just how long you've been away from me.
In that case, I won't need it all. It sounds like a heartbeat when you hold it close. I guess that's what it is in a way. A heartbeat of time. Measuring out your life. My life. Second by second.
Oh, Tom, that's a morbid idea. You love me.
Crazy about it. You don't have to bring me presents to keep it anyway.
I want it to, Tom.
Yeah, I know, but this thing's too expensive, Elizabeth. I can't keep it.
But you must. I gave it to you.
It's worth a couple of $100. Have you thought of how you're going to pay for it?
Well, I had some savings I didn't tell you about.
I thought you were flat broke when I ran into you in Sydney.
Well, I wasn't, though. Look, Tom, why don't you forget it? Let me worry about it. And anyway, I've already paid for the watch.
Why prolong the story? Everybody else knew and I didn't, that's all. Pure self-delusion. Because I had plenty of opportunity to know. Insinuations around the hotel bar, talk along the harbor front, remarks about Pierre Ducar. But like I say, I was crazy about Elizabeth. And I ignored it all, went on painting and didn't know. Maybe I didn't want to know. I'd been out on a 2-day painting trip in one of the native fishing boats and got back to port a day earlier than I'd expected. It was about midnight when I climbed onto the wharf with my canvases and headed around the harbor front. I walked about 50 yards when I heard it. It came from a schooner moored at the wharf just ahead of me. I walked closer. There was no mistaking that line.
You're such a fool sometimes. You're like all the others. Full of words you don't mean.
And the schooner was Pierre Ducar.
Yeah, but they are pretty words, Marshal. And you like to hear them, no?
Of course, I like to hear them. And maybe that only shows I'm a fool, too.
No, I think it is not you and I are fools, but that husband of the...
Tom? Oh, he's all right. But he's so boring at times.
How did you like the watch I sent him?
Fine. Only he wondered how I was going to pay for it.
Some men would have killed one or both of them. Other men would have killed themselves. I did neither. Standing there in the darkness, I realized suddenly that my whole life up to that moment had been completely useless. Nothing. And even Elizabeth, my Elizabeth, had been an illusion of my own, like a painting. And the real woman, too, was useless, hollow, nothing. I threw my paintings into the waters of the harbor, turned away into the night, and ran. Nearly 3 weeks later, my crazy flight from the past had carried me deep into the black heart of New Guinea. Beyond the dank rainforests of the coast, up through the foothills and the mid-sloped jungles of bamboo and liana. Until I stood one morning in a narrow pass that led through steep-walled rocks to a hidden valley. And I knew that civilization lay far behind. That the Papuan natives who moved towards me were headhunters. Cannibals. The chief of the tribe, a giant of a man towering a foot or more above me, raised his arms.
I'm going to be up! Jay, why you come here, what devil?
I'm Tom Dorsey.
Why you come here?
I come to live with you, if I may.
Hey. Where you come from?
A place called Fort Moresby, many days from here.
You a headman that place?
No, and I don't have any wish to be headman here.
You could not be headman you want. I, Ramabu, headman here. With hands alone, Ramabu can kill any man in tribe.
I don't doubt it.
Can kill you, too.
I don't doubt that either.
I show you.
Ramabu,
I hold you over my head, like this. Feel good? How you like? I think you'll not be headman here. I think you're not good for much anything.
No, I guess I'm not. I guess that's why I ran away. Why I came here.
You still want to live here?
Yes.
All right, you stay. But you cause trouble, I kill you. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good, that's good. Hold you.
The weeks went by and gave me little time for thinking, for remembering. I built a house at the far end of the valley, planted a garden, roamed the woods to search for berries and nuts, and lived the life the natives live, timing each day by the watch which I still wore on my wrist. I was fairly content. The past seemed far away. Then Jerry came into my life. I'd gone exploring in the north end of the valley, and when I came back at dusk, she was waiting in the door of my house. Young, brown-skinned, beautiful.
Hello.
Hello?
My name is Jerry. I've been watching you.
Why?
Just because. You did not notice me, though.
Why should I notice?
Well, are you not like other men?
What are you doing here?
I come to live with you.
I don't want anybody living with me.
It is not good to be alone. Who will sweep your floors and cook for you?
I do those things myself.
But it is better to have a woman.
Not for me.
You will not let me stay?
No.
All right. I'll come again tomorrow. Maybe you change your mind.
Not a chance.
We see. Good night.
That was the beginning, and in a way, the beginning of the end. Jerry came back the next day, and the next, and the next. I argued, pled, cursed, but nothing I could do would change that round-eyed persistence of hers in the least. And then I made the first big mistake that started the whole mess. It involved the watch.
We are late tonight. A little while longer, or listen, I cook for you with this spoiled.
What of it? I didn't ask you to come here. I can cook for myself.
Look what I have cooked. Cassava, yams, chestnuts.
Jerry, I've told you over and over again, you've got to stop coming here.
Why?
Because I said so.
Perhaps it's because you think I am ugly.
You know better than that. You're lovely. That's the trouble.
I do not understand you.
I mean, you have no business hanging around here. Look, Jerry, I already have a woman, a wife, back in Port Moresby.
You love her?
Yes.
She is coming here again?
No, she won't be coming.
Then it does not matter. What good is she?
That's not the point. Look, she gave me this. See, it says from Elizabeth. That's her name. To Tom. That's me.
What is this thing?
The watch.
What does it do?
Well, it counts the hours, tells what time the sun will come up, and tells when it'll go down.
How does it do these things? Is it magic?
Well, yes, in a way you could call it magic.
And that is why you will not let me stay? Because the woman has given you this thing?
That's right.
But she is not coming here?
No, she isn't.
Tom, you know what I think?
No.
I think you big fool.
Jerry talked, of course, told the villagers about the magic watch. By twos and threes, they came to look at it, stare at it solemnly, exchange a word or so of gossip, and depart. I welcomed it at first, realized how lonely I'd been, except for Jerry's daily visits. Now I'd suddenly become a popular celebrity. But there was one thing I hadn't counted on, and that one thing was Ramabu.
Much talk in village of magic thing you keep here. Ramabu come see this thing.
I'm glad you did. Welcome to my house.
House. Fine house. You build with magic?
No, I just happen to know a few things about construction.
Better house than Ramabu.
Thanks.
Not good for one have better house than headman.
Here, do you want to see the watch?
Yeah. So this magic thing Ramabu hear about?
Oh, it isn't really magic. It's just a watch. You and I know that.
Ginny say magic. Tell sun and moon.
Well, you know how women talk.
Magic thing. Fine house. You know what I say when you come here?
Yes?
What I say?
You said if I caused any trouble, you'd kill me.
He's right. With these hands, I kill you.
But I didn't think I'd caused any trouble.
Just one way, go out of valley. And guards watch all time.
I'm not planning to escape, if that's what you mean.
You remember now. Ramabu headman here. And Ramabu can kill you.
I watched him stride off, sneering a little, swaggering. I knew, of course, that he had the mind and attitudes of a 10-year-old child and that he was dangerous. But I didn't realize how deadly. Not then. So I went right ahead and made my one big final mistake.
We will return to Escape and tonight's story, The Silent Horror, in just a moment. Lots of folks will be driving on our highways during the Labor Day weekend. It's a weekend for pleasure, so let's keep it pleasant for everyone. Obey the traffic laws, don't speed, stay on the right side of the road, and don't drink when you drive. Be careful. The life you save may be your own. And now, back to Escape.
That's the watch, all right. It's the same watch I figured in all of Tom Dawson's troubles, right up to the end. Or especially at the end, you might say. Of course, I didn't get it from Tom himself. No, a backcountry trader named Will Jonas brought it in one night. It's been hanging there behind the bar ever since. And once in a while, I wind it up when some stranger asks me what it's there for, like you did. Ticks away as good as new. Will's the fellow I got the story from, too, but sometimes, listening to that watch ticking away, I can almost imagine that Tom's telling the story himself, in his own words.
The week after Ramabu came to see the watch, I started on a new project. Weeks before, I'd found a spring and a waterfall halfway up the cliffs behind my house. And I thought of a way to use hollow bamboo tubes to pipe the water to my kitchen. I spent nearly a month cutting the bamboo, carrying it up to the cliff, and fitting the lengths together. And then one day everything was ready, and I turned the water into my new aqueduct. The villagers heard, of course, and came to marvel, taste the water, and look at me askance. Jerry was around during all those weeks. There seemed to be nothing I could do to get rid of her. Or perhaps I was growing less inclined to get rid of her. I suppose I should have expected trouble, but I didn't. When trouble finally did come, it came right to my door.
Mama! You! Come out!
What is this? What's it all about?
Hold on your door! Stop!
Ramaboo, what's this all about?
I come find out if man who live in better house than Ramaboo. Man who make river come to house can also fight.
Fight?
You want spear, club, or hand?
I don't want any of them. What reason have I got to fight with you?
Maybe you want be head man.
Of course not. I told you that before.
People say you big man. Say we fight, see who is head man.
I see. I don't have a choice, is that it?
You want spear, better hand.
What's the difference? I'm no good at any of them. It was pleasant here. I thought maybe... Well, Ramaboo, let's get on with it.
I kill you, bare hand. If you high like this, throw you on ground. I kill you, magic man. Jerry, go back.
Did you kill him, Ramaboo? The magic thing that makes the sun come up with stop. He told me so.
It's a lie, not true.
Don't ever be a sun again. Only night and darkness. Jerry! Quanto tirato! Tocca per gioco te! Fango! It is no use, Ramaboo. They will not let you kill him. Put him down. Put him down.
You tell them lie. Yes. You live for a while. But I think this magic thing like bamboo sway in wind. I think one day it stop. Maybe when it stop, I think sun still come up. If that happen, I kill you. Madoneba!
Jerry, I guess I owe you my life, such as it is. Whatever you want of me, it's yours.
Do you still love the woman in Port Moresby?
No.
And do you love me?
Jerry, if I dared love any woman, it would be you.
I'm a bigger fool than you. I wish I let him kill you.
Ramaboo came the next morning to look at the watch. He saw that it was running and left without a word. It came the next day and the next and the next. First it was amusing, but gradually the terror began to creep in. As long as it ran, I'd live, and whenever it stopped for whatever reason, I'd die. I took to whining it 6 times a day and hold it to my ear and listen to it. The drums in the village seemed to beat constantly. And the drums, the watch, and my own heartbeat became mixed into one crazy quilt of sound. Crazier still when I came down with malaria. When Ramaboo came and saw the fever in my face, he smiled and left, and I cursed him as I wound the watch for the 3rd time since dawn. 2 nights later, Jerry slipped into my room.
I have heard you are sick.
It's a fever. Where have you been all week?
They would not let me come. Tonight, I ran away for a while.
What do you mean?
I mean, if my father accepts the marriage gift, I'm to be the wife of Ramaboo. He is head man. I have no choice. Do you care?
What if I did?
I ask you, do you?
If you were married to me, you could only look forward to being a widow.
There is a way. If you
Wait.
care enough.
Here, stop.
Oh, what is wrong?
Here, let me have it. I gotta get it started. I must have forgotten to wind it.
What are you doing? What are you saying?
It won't run. It won't run. Ramaboo will find out.
But it is running. Hold it to your ear.
Huh?
It was the drum.
Oh, I thought it was a watch. I thought it was a watch.
there is a way out of the valley. I know about it.
So do I, Jerry. There are 20 guards watching.
No, I mean another one. It is behind the waterfall where you meet the magic thing of bamboo.
What?
A little path goes up the cliff. Very steep. But I have climbed it. We can go together if you care.
But I'm sick. Maybe in a day or
If
two.
the magic thing stops a day or two, maybe too late.
If I'd known about it a week ago, before I caught the
In a
fever.
few days, I may be married to Ramabo.
All right, marry him.
Don't say that.
I'm sick, Jerry. I can't do it. Go ahead and marry him if you want. Leave me alone. I tossed away the hours of night and day, lying on my cot bathed in sweat. And time itself seemed to gel into one great mass of fever with no form or dimensions. And the fever sang in my ears when I strained to hear the watch. Sometime I mistook the drums of my own heart. I fought to stay awake, to keep my senses to live, fought against odds that grew greater by the hour. Sometimes in my delirium, I thought that Jerry had slipped into the room like a ghost, had wound the watch and talked to me and left. But I could never remember anything that she'd said. And then finally one night, just before dawn, I woke. And suddenly, terror was in the room. The name of the terror was silence. Jerry? Jerry, are you here? There's no sound. It's like it stopped. The watch is broken and it stopped. Sometimes in a fever there comes a moment of clarity and strength, and I knew suddenly what I must do. Without trying to find the watch, I leaped from my cot and headed for the waterfall. By daylight, I was halfway up the rock wall, drenched by the falling spray and dog-tired. But the slope from here on was gentler, and I kept moving on up the cliff. Now and then I stopped to look back, and that's when I saw Jerry! But I saw something else, too. Jerry was 100 feet below me, and beyond her, at the base of the cliff, was Ramabo and half the tribe. There was nothing I could do now but pray.
I love you. Come on. Wait for me.
I saw Ramabo raise his bow, draw back the arrow, and let it go. I saw it fall and lie there on the rocks. I saw Ramabo pick her up, carry her back toward the village. I knew the greatest thing I'd ever owned was gone. That my life was once again, and this time truly, useless. I turned and plunged into the jungle.
Well, I suppose it was a couple of 3 months later when Tom Dawson showed up in Port Moresby again. Elizabeth had sold all his paintings and left on Ducard's schooner long before, so Tom moved into his old house and he stayed pretty clear of everybody, all except for a night here in the bar now and then. He didn't tell any of us what he'd done or where he'd been. And I suppose we never would have known if that hadn't been for a coincidence that happened one night. Yes, I was penned in bar just as I am now, and suddenly some fella walks up and snaps a card up.
How you feet, Joe? Will Jonas is back in town.
Well,
I'm 6 months dry and ready to go.
the devil you mean, huh?
Oh, so far back country, never even heard of beads. How can you cheat them? Oh, say, I stumbled onto something, though. You remember that painter, Tom Dawson?
Yes.
You remember that watch, what's her name, give him? Well, there it is.
Well, where'd you get that?
In the forsakenest piece of country I've ever found in 20 years of trading. Believe me, Joe.
Where'd you get that watch?
Hey, Joe! Joe, you know Will Jonas.
Where'd you get that watch?
Well, I guess from the person you left it with.
I didn't leave it with anybody.
That's not what she said.
What do you mean? Tell me. Who? Was it Jerry?
Yeah, that's her name.
She's alive?
And twice as natural. He's living in that house you built. Alone, if you're interested.
What about him?
Oh, the head man.
Yeah,
well, it seems he lost face when he let you get away. They figured you for their good luck or something. Anyway, they booted him out a long time ago.
And Jerry, she's all right. She's living in my house.
Yeah, alone. She made that plenty clear in case you...
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hey, where you going? Well, what about this watch? It's yours. Well, I'll be... Hey, Joe.
Yes?
I'll trade you this watch for a bottle. How about it?
Well, that was 5 or 6 years ago. Nobody around here has ever seen Tom Dawson since. Because all of us have got a pretty good idea where he went, though. Yeah. And I'll lay odds on one thing, stranger. I'll bet you he's happy.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Silent Horror by Hugh Cave, specially adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, starring Harry Bartell with George Ellis. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Ben Wright, Ann Diamond, Stan Waxman, and Lou Krugman. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. The light heavyweight boxing title goes up on the chopping block later tonight when champ Joey Maxim squares off against challenger Bob Murphy. With this exciting championship go, your Wednesday night fight exclusives on CBS Radio begin another action-packed season. Don't miss it, blow by blow, over most of these same stations later tonight. Next week, Hearthstone of the Death Squad returns to the air. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for the first of this new series. Clarence Cassell speaking. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Visions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are flying over Crater Valley on Planet X when they sight Prince Baccarati's ship on the ground. Quickly landing, they see the prince struggling with a native and rush to the rescue.
Is Baccarati all right, sir? He's beating that old man.
He's trying to drag him into his ship. Let's get him.
All right, Baccarati, break it up. I'll get his ray gun, sir.
Let go of me, Corey.
Commander, the old man's unconscious. Baccarati knocked him out.
Getting pretty brave, aren't you, Baccarati, beating up an old man all by yourself?
Not quite by myself. Get them, Malengo. Use your paralyzer ray. You got both of them, Malengo. This is the last time Corey will meddle in the affairs of Planet X.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure under the sea of Planet X.
Hi, I'm a member of the Blue Demons Club here in Los Angeles, and this is Dick Beale.
Hiya.
Boy, there's lots of excitement around our club. All us Blue Demons are trying to win that big rocket ship clubhouse in the Name the Planet contest.
And the $1,500 that comes with it.
Yeah, what a prize. A huge rocket clubhouse on wheels and $1,500 cash. We Blue Demons have entered the contest 4 times already, so we're way ahead of some of the other clubs. And we're going to get lots more entries, but there's not much time.
Hey, come on, let's get down to the Weatherbird shoe store and pick up some more entry blanks.
Wait a minute. I want to tell the guys about the rocket clubhouse. What a giant. 10,000 pounds. 35 feet long. It's bigger than an airplane.
Wow, we and all our dads are going to take turns driving the big truck that pulls the rocket clubhouse and take all us Blue Demons on camping and hiking trips.
And how about those 750 Schwinn varsity bikes being given away? Schwinn's the swellest bike ever. It's got 3-speed gear shift, so it goes like everything, and 2-wheel handbrakes, so it stops plenty fast.
Hey, come on, will you? We got to get down to the Weatherbird shoe store.
Yeah, and you get more of those swell space coins. You get 3 space coins absolutely free and an album, too, when you get your Name the Planet contest entry blank from the Weatherbird shoe dealer. And there's another space coin in every package of hot Ralston cereal.
Hey, quit talking so much. Let's go to the Weatherbird shoe store. There's not much time left to enter the contest, and we got to make sure the Blue Demons win that rocket clubhouse.
Okay, I'm coming.
Gang, get your pals together. See your Weatherbird shoe dealer and get lots of swell space coins and contest entry blanks absolutely free. You don't have to buy a thing, but hurry. Time's getting short. Get going on the Name the Planet contest today at your Weatherbird shoe store. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure under the sea of Planet X. For the past 2 days, Space Patrol ships and some commercial ships have picked up a strange spaceophone signal. It registers for a few seconds and then disappears. Right now, in Commander Corey's central office on the man-made planet Terra, Buzz and Happy sit before a sensitive receiver as the cryptic signal streams in from across the vastness of space.
What is it, sir? The code signal has been picked up repeatedly from Planet X.
Planet X?
Notice the pattern. It's a constant repetition of 3 dashes.
A homing signal for Baccarati's scout ship.
What Major Robertson thought at first. It comes from a point in the Great Sea of Planet X, far away from any of Baccarati's known installations.
On an island, then?
Very likely. Somebody's in distress on Planet X. Let's get to our ship, Happy.
Meantime, in the tower room of his castle on Planet X, Prince Baccarati reclines casually on his ornate throne, gazing admiringly at a flashing jeweled medallion. His chief counselor, Dr. Malengro, is patiently waiting to be recognized while the haughty prince fondles a cluster of jewels.
Beautiful. Exquisite. Well, Malengro, what is it?
A report from the detachment of guards, Your Highness. They're on the trail of the escaped slaves.
Oh, indeed. Have they been recaptured?
Not yet, sire. But the guard captain thinks the natives are attempting to return to their home region in Crater Canyon.
Yes, all right. Malengro, what do you think of this medallion?
Excellency, this is magnificent. Where did you get it?
A guard took it from one of the slaves, the one that was recaptured just after the escape.
Amazing. A native with this?
With jewels like this, I can hire more agents, hundreds of them.
Of course, it can solve all Your Excellency's financial problems.
Let's go down to the dungeon and talk to him. It's in the next cell, Malengro.
Big fellow, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll leave the door locked in case he becomes violent.
Might I suggest you mind the fellow? Perhaps you would talk with him.
Well, you talk to him then.
Very well, sire. Tamu, son of Chief Ramad, His Highness Prince Baccarati is impressed by the medallion. He would like to know where you got it.
It was given to me by my father.
And where did he get it?
From his father. It is handed down by each chief to his eldest son. Generation
I
after...
don't care about that. Where did it come from originally?
From the Ancient Ones.
And just who are the Ancient Ones?
The givers of all knowledge. The benevolent masters of this world and the worlds beyond the sun. The exalted...
Stop prattling! Where are these Ancient Ones, whoever they are?
It is not given to me to know. For I am not a chief. Only a chief may know the secret of the Ancient Ones.
This young upstart is trying to make a fool of me. Blanco, summon the guard. I'll beat this precious secret out of him.
There is another way.
I want to know where these jewels came from.
Perhaps his father, the chief, will reveal the secret to get his son back safely. Besides, if this fellow is telling the truth and only his father knows where the jewels came from, We can force him to reveal the secret.
Excellent. We'll take this Tamu with us to prove we have him. Guide, I'm not...
A few hours later, Buzz and Happy are scanning the surface of the great sea of Planet X in their viewscopes, searching for the source of the mysterious signal. Their spaceophone receiver is adjusted to pick up the code whenever the ship crosses the directional beam from the transmitter.
Whoever calculated that fix on the signal must be way off, sir. We're right over the region where it's supposed to come from.
Well, we've got to allow for error, Happy. Remember, the fix was computed from positions millions of DUs from Planet X.
Right. There it is. It's going.
Cross the beam. We'll circle back again.
Sure must be a narrow beam if we crossed it that quick.
You get any sort of a fix on it at all?
I'll check the indicator, sir. Something's mighty strange here, Commander. The signal came from somewhere right below us on the Great Sea, but there's no island and no surface craft.
Watch your viewscope carefully, Hap.
Yes, sir. There it is. Look, there's nothing down here. And our viewscope is sensitive enough to pick up a very small boat. What do you make of it, sir?
It must be submerged. A clever idea. Lessens the chance of Baccarati's scouts ever locating it.
Yes, sir, but who's sending the signal? Where are they?
Probably they're hiding out close to the coast. We'll circle low and give them a chance to see our space patrol insignia.
There's a valley a few miles inland, sir. The valley and the foothills are covered with farms and orchards, even inside some of those craters.
That means people, Happy. Probably very intelligent natives. And farming people are usually peaceable.
And whoever escaped from Baccarati could be living with the natives, waiting for the space patrol to pick up that signal out there in the ocean.
At least the natives may know if any strangers have passed through recently. We'll head for those craters, Hap.
Meantime, Prince Baccarati has landed his atmosphere ship near the edge of a crater in the valley, some distance from a group of cliff dwellings. Fearful of the reaction of the natives, the prince has sent Dr. Malengro alone to the village to get the chief. A few moments later, Malengro returns with an old man whose regal bearing and fine spun cloth robe are evidence of his important position in the tribe. As he approaches Baccarati, the chief extends his arms to his sides, palms outward, in a gesture of friendship. Baccarati merely stands stiffly, a sneer on his face, as the old man.
I am Ramit, chief of the people of the Valley of Craters. I bid you welcome.
Let's get down to business, Ramit. Ever see this before?
It belongs to my son, Tamu. He was captured by the tyrant. You have seen my son?
Yes, he's in my ship.
This is joyous news. Tell me your name, that my people may sing in praise of you.
Malenko, didn't you tell him who I am?
I thought it best to withhold that information, sire.
Very well. Ramid, I'm Prince Baccarati.
You are the tyrant?
That is a harsh word to call a gracious prince who has brought your son back to you.
I will gladly apologize when I embrace my son again.
That is easily arranged. Where did this medallion come from?
Why, from my father, who was chief before me.
No more of that. You got more jewels like this. Where are they? Take me to them.
That is impossible.
Then it is impossible for me to return your son.
But, Your Highness, there are no more jewels like that among my people.
Don't lie to me, Ramit. If you got one medallion, you got more. Where are they?
In the realm of the Ancient Ones.
Where is that?
In their city under the sea.
What kind of a nonsense is this? You're lying, Ramit. There is no such city.
I do not lie. I know there is a city under the sea. For I have been there.
Then take me there or you'll never see your son again.
It is forbidden for anyone but a new chief of my people to descend into the city of the Ancient Ones.
I don't care a handful of space dust for your ridiculous customs. If you don't take me to the city for those gems, I'll bless this entire valley.
You mean you will destroy my people?
That's exactly what I mean. If you don't think...
Your Highness, look, a spaceship, Commander Corey's ship.
This Corey's ship. Quick, back to our ship.
There's time. He's coming to land.
You're right, Malenko. Hurry. Hide before he gets close enough to see exactly what's going on down here.
But where can we hide? He'll find us.
You hide in that thick clump of bushes over there. I'll stay here in plain sight. While he's capturing me, you can get him with the paralyzer ray. Now hurry.
Yes, Your Highness.
You are afraid of this man in the spaceship. It is our liberator, just as it was foretold in the chronicles of the Ancient Ones. You can't harm our liberator.
I won't let you, won't I? We'll see about that. Be ready, Malenko, when Corey comes to the rescue.
Baccarati, all right. He's beating that old man. Trying to drag him into a ship. Let's get him. All right, Baccarati, break it up. I'll get his ray gun first.
Let go of me, Corey.
Commander, the old man's unconscious. Baccarati knocked him out. Getting pretty brave, aren't you, Baccarati, beating up an old man all by yourself?
Get them, Malengro. Yes, Your Highness. Splendid, Malengro. You got both of them. This is the last time Commander Corey will meddle in the affairs of Planet X.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Hi, Mr. Weatherburn Man.
Hi, you fellas. Back already?
Yeah, we want some more of those swell space coins and 3 more contest entry blanks for the guys in our Blue Demons Club.
Oh, sure, you bet. Here you are. Your space coins are right there in the album, along with your contest entry blank. And they're absolutely free. You don't have to buy anything.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Weatherford Man. Now the Blue Demons will have even more chances to win the Rocket Clubhouse and the $1,500. Well, maybe we'll win a Schwinn bike for every guy in Demon.
Sure. And don't forget about the 1,000 other prizes. 1,000 pieces of official Space Patrol equipment. And you know, you can get even more of those fine space coins free in packages of hot Ralston cereal. The hot Ralston package with a picture of Commander Corey and Cadet Happy on the front.
You betcha, Mr. Weatherford Man. We're going to get some packages of hot Ralston with the free space coins right now. Then, all of us Blue Demons are going to come back here and get going on the Name the Planet contest again. Be seeing you.
Good. But you better hurry. There's not much time left, Anders.
Right, Space Patrollers, time is running out. But you still have time to get your free space coins and contest entry blanks at your Weatherbird shoe store. So do it today. That's your Weatherbird shoe store. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure under the sea of Planet X. Buzz and Happy blast off for Planet X to investigate a mysterious spaceophone signal that seems to come from the Great Sea. Believing the series of dashes are a distress signal from the United Planets personnel who escaped from Prince Baccarati, Buzz searches the nearby coast. Sighting Baccarati's ship in a crater valley, they land in time to stop Baccarati from beating Ramed, chief of a tribe of peaceful natives. But Buzz and Happy are in turn overpowered by Dr. Malengro, who's been lurking in ambush nearby, armed with a paralyzer ray gun. Helpless from the effects of the blast, the space patrolmen look on as Baccarati and Malengro revive the native chief.
He's coming around all right, Your Highness.
Oh, get him to his feet. Come on, Ramed, get up.
Those men lying there. What have you done to them?
Temporarily paralyzed with this ray gun. This, Ramed, is one of the least powerful of my weapons. Remember that, in case your people will try to rescue you.
Who are these men? From another planet, too, I suppose?
Yes. This is the great Commander Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol of the United Planets. My most formidable enemy. And look at him now.
If he is your enemy, he must be good. A liberator who came from another world to save us from a tyrant, just as the Ancient Ones foretold.
There's your liberator. Your Ancient Ones are either bad prophets, or they were thinking of someone else. Malengro, put Corey and the Cadet into my ship and tie them up.
Yes, Excellency. Shall we put them in with Tamu?
Nah, there isn't enough room in that compartment. Put them in the first compartment on the left, and lock them up.
Yes, Your Highness.
Leaving Buzz and Happy securely bound and locked in Baccarati's ship, the Prince and Malengro followed Chief Ramed around the rims of the craters and across the valley to a steep bluff. Finally, Ramed pauses before a jutting rock formation.
We are at the entrance to the tunnel.
Where? I don't see it.
Slip in behind that large rock.
You go first. You're next, Malengro.
Yes, Your Highness.
There isn't much light in here, Malengro. Have your Atamo light?
Yes, Excellency. Here.
Why, this is no tunnel. It's just a cave. It ends a few yards back. What are you trying to do, Ramed?
The back wall is a concealed gate. I will open it. There's a hidden lever in this recess.
Highness,
It must take tremendous power to open that gate. It is a secret force of the Ancient One.
Probably only electricity. See, the tunnel is lighted.
Yes. You will no longer need your little light.
Rahmed, just who were these Ancient Ones?
A race of wise men and women who lived on this world thousands of years ago.
Why did they live under the sea?
Their science told them that this world would be struck with a storm of giant stones from the sky.
Meteors. That's what caused the craters.
Yes. So they built a new city to the east in another deep valley and covered the city with a dome. Then they leveled a huge mountain, and the sea rushed in and covered the city.
The deep water protected them from the meteors.
Yes.
What became of these people, these Ancient Ones?
When the great rain of stones was over, and the air was cooled, the Ancient Ones found that the world was not the beautiful one it once was. The air was foul to their sensitive lungs. So they built great ships and fled into space to seek another world.
Well, it's fortunate they aren't here now to interfere with my plans. Let's get started down this tunnel. Must be a tremendous distance to the sea.
It is a great distance, but you will be there very soon. Stand here if you will. That's it. When I press a lever, the very floor of the tunnel will move and carry you down to the city under the sea.
Conveyor belt, a moving platform.
Amazing. I suggest that you lay down. The floor moves swiftly.
All right, hurry up. Let's get started. Come on, Rahmed. Get on, we're ready.
I'm not going with you.
Rahmed, get on the platform, do you hear me?
Farewell, evil one. You will go alone to the city under the sea.
Stop this platform. Stop it, I say.
May the Ancient Ones forgive me for defiling their beautiful city. I will close the gate and return to my people.
Elsewhere, in a compartment of Baccarati's ship, Buzz and Happy, recovered from the effects of the paralyzer ray, are struggling vainly to free their tightly bound hands and feet.
Boy, Malingro really did a job on us this time. Commander, somebody's at the door. Baccarati must be back.
I returned as quickly as I could, Commander Corey. I am Rahmed, chief of the people of the Valley of Craters.
Believe me, Rahmed, we're certainly glad to see you.
I'll say we are.
If you will permit me, I shall release your bond.
Thanks. What happened to Baccarati and Malengro?
They're in the city under the sea. The moving platform should have carried them there by now.
Smoking rockets, you mean there actually is a city under the sea?
Yes. Built hundreds of generations ago by the Ancient One.
And people live in it?
No. Not since the Ancient Ones left this world in spaceships similar to your own. Perhaps you are a descendant of the Ancient Ones, returned to free my people from this tyrant Baccarati. It was foretold by the Ancient One.
No, I'm afraid not. We've been after Baccarati for a long time. We came here because of a signal we received from space.
From the Ancient One?
No, from what we call a spaceophone. We first picked up the signal 3 days ago.
3 days ago, you say? That was the day my son disappeared. He was captured by Baccarati's men. That was the day I went to the tunnel and pressed another secret lever.
Another lever?
When the Ancient Ones left this world, they told those left behind of a tyrant who would someday come to enslave them. They told us of a secret lever that would summon a liberator from out of space.
Smoking rockets, they set that equipment hundreds of years ago, and it works now.
More than hundreds, I think. Thousands. So, Rahmed, you sent that signal when Baccarati captured your son.
And 20 other of my people. But my son is here in this ship.
Why didn't you tell us before?
It is not our way to needlessly impose our affairs on strangers.
Well, gee, let's get him out of here. If he's okay, I'll bet he wants to help us go after Baccarati.
No, my friend. He must not enter the city until it is his time to succeed me as chief.
All right, Rahmed. We'll probably need you to show us around. After we get your son out of here, we'll go to my ship and get some weapons. Then tackle Baccarati. With ever-increasing speed, the moving platform carries the terrified Baccarati and Malengro down through the tunnel, mile after mile, until they are under the sea. Then the platform slows down and finally comes to a stop. Dazedly, Baccarati and Malengro get to their feet and look in amazement at a city of dazzling beauty, bathed in soft lights of many colors. High above them, a transparent dome holds back the dark blue waters of the great sea.
Look at these buildings. They're studded with jewels. There are even jewels in the streets. I'm rich. I'm richer than anyone in the universe. Let's chip off as many of these jewels as we can. Use the butt of your razor.
As Baccarati and Malengro wander through the streets of the undersea city, roughly chipping away the largest gems from building walls and streets, Buzz, Happy, and Chief Ahmed descend through the long tunnel. Then, cautiously, as the moving platform stops, they enter the city.
Listen. Did I? Yeah. What is it? I don't know. Let's find out. Baccarati and Malengro, chipping gems from the walls. Ready, Hap? Yes, sir. Let's rush him. Come on.
Corey! Malengro, get them!
All right, Baccarati. You going to call it quits, or do you want to go back up that tunnel unconscious?
You win.
Get the weapons, Hap.
And those gems. They must not take the jewels from the city.
Yes, drop them, both of you. You won't be needing them.
Smoking rockets. Baccarati's got an emerald as big as a hen's egg.
I will relieve you of that emerald.
Ramad.
Thanks, Ramad, you old fool. There's your emerald.
Commander, Baccarati's got his blast gun.
Yes, and I'm going to use it.
Don't try it. If you break that dome, you'll have the whole ocean in on us.
Then stay right where you are. Come on, Malengro. Follow me.
Yes, Your Highness. Captain Happy. Can't escape it. They may find some weapon they can use against us.
We just ducked around that corner, Commander.
We're gaining on them.
There they are. They're heading for that metal door.
Stop, Baccarati.
Let's see you get in here, Corey.
Oh, doggone it. If we'd just been a second sooner. They've locked themselves in this chamber. Well, all we've got to do is just wait for them to come out. They can't stay in there forever.
I know, huh? I don't like the looks of this.
Yeah, but there's no other door. It's just a metal chamber.
Yeah, but look, it's a column extending clear up to the dome.
I wonder what it's for. Hey, what's happening?
Look up at the top of the dome.
Something shooting up to the surface. A big torpedo or something.
See if you can open that door now, Hap.
The chamber's empty. They're gone.
This is an emergency escape hatch. Baccarati and Malengro shot to the surface inside of a watertight chamber.
Oh, they sure took an awful chance.
It may have been ejected automatically.
Commander.
They got away, Ramad. I'm sorry.
It was my fault. But I am very grateful. You saved the lives of my son and all my people. I will order a feast in your honor.
Thanks, Ramad, but some other time.
But Baccarati cannot harm my people now.
Probably not. We'll go back to our spaceship and search the great sea till we find him.
I know our great danger is over. Baccarati will leave us alone now, I know. Because I've got my son's jeweled medallion back. Baccarati dropped it in the fight. It is a sign of good fortune.
Well, maybe, Ramad, but just the same, don't forget where that spaceophone signal switch is.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Look for the sign of the Weatherbird Space Patrollers. Look for the sign of the Weatherbird at your Weatherbird shoe store, because that's where you get your free Name the Planet contest entry blank and those swell space coins. And remember, you can also get space coins in packages of good hot Ralston, instant or regular, but hurry. Time's getting short. There's still time to get going on the Name the Planet contest at your Weatherbird shoe store. That's your Weatherbird shoe store. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are trying to drive off one of Prince Baccarati's atmosphere ships before it destroys a small submarine in the great sea of Planet X.
We're driving him off, Hap. Yes, sir. He's cut on all rockets, but what happened to the sub?
We'll take care of it later, after we've chased that atmosphere ship away.
Commander, they're firing at us.
They want to play rough, you'll cooperate. Stand by to fire space torpedoes.
We're hit.
He's knocked out our starboard rockets. We're out of control.
Commander, we're going to crash.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Sea Monster of Planet X, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kovach, Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, Stephen Robertson, Dick Beals, and Tom McKee. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles reporting on the famous jet plane assigned to the vital Air Force mission of defending America's homeland, Lockheed's F-94C Starfire. In a moment, we'll hear from Tony LaVere, the well-known record-breaking test pilot on the Starfire. Within seconds after warning, this radar-controlled interceptor can be off the ground and streaking to 45,000 feet or higher. Packing 48 rockets, it can fly and fight in sunshine or darkness at speeds of more than 600 miles per hour. Now, Tony LaVere, tape recorded this morning at a California air base.
You know, good health is important to a test pilot, and I have to stay in top condition. I get lots of rest and eat plenty of good food. That's why I like a good cereal for breakfast, like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They have real energy and they taste swell. Why don't you try them?
No other cereal, puffed or flaked, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from Tony LaVere, Joe Lynch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. And now, attention all Space Patrollers. Now you can have the big, complete catalog of exciting new Space Patrol toys and official Space Patrol equipment. It's yours absolutely free. Just mail a postcard to Space Products, Box 591, Hollywood, California. That's Space Products, Box 591, Hollywood, California. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.